Welcome back to the night shift, everybody. It's that time every Wednesday. We just finished our challenger match. If you're just joining us, you just missed out on an absolute banger. Leviathan versus Lowkey W. This time, Lowkey W with a lot of roster swaps, a lot of former Buff Enjoyers players come back and get the win. They're going to be the ones going off to face Abrahams.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see what Abraham's interpretation of the meta is as well, because right now there's a lot of different ways you could go. We've been talking about this all day. There's the recent patches, the new heroes can really mix things up. You know, there's both Silver and Graves are seen to be quite strong and viable, in addition to other mix-ups elsewhere. And Abraham's, they're the barometer. They really are the barometer of they're the most stable, highest quality team that has stuck together for the longest. So like they are the ones that I think most people will look to see like, okay, this is the standard.
Also, I want to shout out some of our donators who came in around that break. We got huge support right now. I think the prize pool is up to around 1,500 US, which we're going to split between the two regions, between EU and NA, but already amazing support, guys, even in the first game of the day. So huge shout out to the Deadlock community coming in massive after the sick update. We are going to be awooing now. We've hit the awoo goal, which means we got to drop an awoo on the cast when the Lycan form pops, which, by the way, God help me if somebody buys.
That's got to be Jason, right?
On silver. I need help if that happens. But I want to shout out some of our donos. We had the Post Lamp who dropped $5, who called out for the Venator voters to prove the fact that the Venator voters are loaded. I'll match the next donation for the Vote Venator army. And then they came in, they backed up, put their money where their mouth is. When a $100 Canadian donation came in from Gollum Cleric, Pulse Lamp came in and matched that as well. So huge shout out to Gollum Cleric, who then dropped another $150. So insane. Subi Jubi with the huge 500. So massive donos coming in from everybody. That money all goes straight to the prize pool. Supporting on the stream though is great too. We love it when you give us your Twitch Primes. Twitch Primes are free. Give us your Twitch Prime sub. That lets us continue to keep the lights on, keep us running the show week in, week out at this level of quality. But that's enough of that. I'll stop begging for your money. We'll get into the next match. It'll be Abraham's, the challenger, or rather the title holder, awaiting their challenger here. And like you talked about, Dan, this team is the standard bearer. This is the team to beat. We're winner take all here on the night shift. It's a king of the hill system, and this is the king.
And my God, you know, some of the changes, I feel like Abraham's gonna have a lot of fun with it. Like we see together there with the Yamato avatar. Yamato's been played more recently, but she's definitely like even stronger right now. So together is just iconic on the Yamato, so that could be really fun. Hoot can play everything, but GT is one of the many that he's very dominant on. Honestly, I just, up and down this roster, it's just star-studded brilliance and best-in-class performances.
Yeah, this is a team that is going to be so scary to go against. I mean, I think D-Mob, one of our most flexible players in the game. Hoot, I'd put him in the same category. Really always exciting to see what they bring on the field. But like you said, every player in this team is arguably best in class for what they do. Sonya on the carry, together, frontliner, Taz with the initiator, and Sane on the support. If you want to learn Deadlock, there's probably not better players around the world, or at least easily not in EU, to look at than these guys for each of their individual roles. So shout out to them. They are going to be a tough foe to beat, even with Lowkey W putting up such a great show. I mean, this is like basically a new roster for Lowkey W. Are you really going to put a challenge against Abrahams? We'll have to see when we get into the match. Lowkey W, though, they probably made some believers, made some fans in the chat for that comeback. I mean, they were down almost 15k souls at like minute 15. That should just be game over. Very few players come back from a scenario like that, and yet Lowkey W just did it.
Yeah, and speaking of star-studded players, part of the reason you could say is just the change of having the addition of Sharik and Listic to really bring this roster together. We saw great things from everybody, of course, and Cosmetical is one of those up-and-coming names that I think everyone had been talking about. If you were in the EU scene, and then we started to see him on this team be extremely powerful. But now having these additions of the super tenured players in Listic and Sharik, you've started to like really pull together a roster here that could go very, very far. And Deadlock is all about evolution with these rosters. 6 players that can play different roles, and there's a lot of team play and synergy and communication. There's so many aspects to why we see a lot of changes in these rosters. So I'm hoping that this is a stable look for Lowkey W, and if they can hit that level that we saw in the previous game, it's certainly a good start.
Yeah, I want to see them tighten up the early game. I think Abrahams are a team you cannot afford to give that kind of an edge to. But if they're able to accomplish that, we could see them, I think, very much take it in the late game. Listic is one of those players who I think has been at near the top of the game for quite some time. So it's great to see him back in the competitive scene. This is a moment for Deadlock where I think a lot of those top players are going to come out of the woodwork and really show their stuff here on the night shift. By the way, if you're just joining us for the first time, we're here every Wednesday with top-level Deadlock esports action. We're the ones keeping it going every single week here on both our YouTube and Twitch channel. So huge shout out. I see a ton of primes in the chat, by the way. Thank you, guys. It does make a huge difference to us. I promise. I do the books. It really helps us continue to run the show week in, week out. But I think soon we should be able to get into the draft. Hopefully, we'll see. Our captains are probably getting that set up right now. And yes, it is. Okay, Abrahams versus Lowkey W. Lowkey W coming in as the challenger. They get to pick first or second pick, and they have proud first pick. So I'm curious, what are they going to go for? Will they try and get that silver top one? To be determined.
Yeah, that's just the question. So previously we saw the typical bans. Oh, interesting.
I like this, actually. Abrahams was very good with the Rem. Like, Saint makes this hero really sing. He is just robbing your sinners blind. You have to be constantly watching your jungle for this guy. He gets so much out of the map on the Rem, and then also has a ton of power in the late game. Makes it so hard to ever take mid boss. Makes a ton of sense to me. And Abrahams don't want it. They just think Abrams still the best. I think this clears the way for Lowkey W to rip it in. However, you might also just feel like you got to grab Shiv with how strong the character is right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think this really is very interesting because it does. Abrahams are a team that will be able to make the Graves work as well, but with that pick, I feel like you kind of want to take the Page away in one of these two picks just to kind of deny that, but also it's a high tier support too.
You could take Shiv Page right now for Abrahams. And Dan, this is one of the rules on the night shift. If you let Together play Shiv, it's on you, bro. It's on you. And they take silver top one though. I wonder if this is going to be a Together silver. For me, I think Together is the best frontliner player in the world right now. We know him for his Shiv and his Yamato, but time to see. I think Silver is probably a hero that goes kind of right up his alley in terms of carry potential, snowball potential, but still somebody who really gets in the mix and gets aggressive. But with Shiv pick now, this is an embarrassment of riches for Abrahams.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, yeah, because you do give up the Billy Page, but like you're saying, you get all this value instead. And I do agree, actually, that we could see that from Together, because we were talked about the kind of similarities, I guess, between the Lycan Curse and also Yamato's Shadow Transformation. So I could see that, that kind of fulfilling a similar role. So Yamato picked up on the other side of things. Again, it feels like Page is a must right now for them. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to hold on to it, I don't think. There's no way that Abrahams give up Page. Okay, Pocket comes in, so Page is available.
I mean, I love Pocket against both Shiv and Silver. I think this makes a lot of sense for Lowkey W to be able to grab. Also, I want to shout out Average Jonas dropping 5 gifted. Huge shout out to Average Jonas, one of the OG Deadlock streamers. Co-streams a ton our events, so really appreciate the love in those gifted subs. And also, I mean, tons of subs coming back in as well from the whole community. So love you guys. It makes a huge difference to us. And it's just, I'm just loving it, man. It's a great moment to be a Deadlock fan. We've been at this for what, more than a year now, Dan,
18
right?
months, Jake.
Yeah, right. We're like a year and a half.
Long months.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We've been doing this since the map was pretty much gray boxes, and here we are with some of our hottest new heroes coming in. Abrahams, they get the Page and love Page Silver Shiv. I mean, for all the reasons you love a Page with a frontliner, it fits perfectly with Silver, right? Being able to, you think you're going to be able to kill the Silver, you think you'll be able to kill her, finish her off in the human form, and then suddenly Page comes in and turns that on its head. So I like that Lowkey W banned the Lash, though. Who has destroyed many a team on the Lash, like carrying in the damage department, also crushing the team fights. You can't let him have this hero.
Yeah. Lash is looking pretty nice right now. Mina, she did get some buffs, some debuffs, some nerfs. Actually, is the correct term in the recent update. But still getting value pretty highly.
She's getting some debuffs in the game. True. Because you got to lock this hero down. She does have crazy damage potential, but yeah, yes. To be determined, I guess, how effective it really is after those nerfs. I love Dimov though on the Mina, if that's the direction they end up going. I think Dimov has looked insane on some of these high mobility carries. That's where I think Dimov really shines. I mean, the guy is just so insane with the mechanics. His potential to carry a game is very, very real. And also, I feel like you give Abrahams any kind of a snowball, any kind of an early game tempo lead, they are a team that just puts the pedal to the metal, and it's so hard to bring back the advantage when it goes against you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And we get the Geist coming in response as well, and that is such a it's so high value. The Geist is really high value right now, so it just says a lot about what is available right now, because I wouldn't necessarily argue with any of the other picks. Bebop coming on through another, speaking of Jonas, that'll make him happy, because that Wishmail build definitely does go pretty hard. We didn't see it exactly like that, I think, in the previous game, because as you mentioned, Jake, was kind of like a gun pivot later on, but still really good. And Talon is nice, actually, because if you get the Bebop, you kind of actually block the counter for the Talon, which is the Bebop hook. So, and no Lash too, so limited play against the Talon. $100.
Dropping 100 on the prize pool. I feel like we might get a record prize pool today, Dan. I mean, we're basically at the top of the show. This is the first challenger match. After this, guys, if you're just joining us, we'll have a full NA show to follow. So we've got the top 3 teams in North America competing for a similar King of the Hill style event after we complete this money match and finish off EU. So lots to look forward to on night shift.
By the way, that's not my voice. You stood up earlier like, it's Jason. No, that ain't me. I'm
It's
observing.
Jason every time, guys. We're not using computers. This is real. He's
Jason's a voice actor. He can do anything. I mean, Jason, give us one now.
Yeah, give me one.
Deathy and Jason Kaplan is my #1 hater.
All right, I guess that works. That's a very good Deathy impression you got there too.
They cap things off with the Ivy, which I think is actually a bit of a slept-on support right now. I mean, those links you provide when you share healing with your teammates are actually pretty powerful. You get something like the Heal Nova, you're healing people a pretty ridiculous amount. The tanking is going to be very, very real. That being said, I think Shiv is a very scary foe for both Geist, Yamato, and Billy. I feel like Shiv, you have to stifle him in the early game. You cannot let this be an explosive Shiv crushing everybody type game. I think if it gets to that point, I don't know that you really have. Maybe ultra late Geist can just beam Shiv down with the gun and it won't be such a problem. But I think Abrahams, if they snowball, if they tempo this game out in the early game and build an advantage, they could just blitzkrieg this one down in 25 minutes. Lowkey W, if you survive that, if you get deeper, if you get to the 40-minute mark and everyone's, huge soul stack, I think the game's going to start to turn in their favor. So I think Lowkey W, kind of similar to we saw in the challenger match, have set themselves up for a ton of late game potential. It's a matter of surviving, which they did it last game, but honestly, it was scary. To be down as much as they were at the time they were, the game could have very easily just gone against them, and we could have missed all the potential that we were able to realize in that last match. So up against Abrahams, our perennial winner here in EU night shift, there's going to be a real test to this fresh roster from Lowkey W.
Yeah, it's a nice balanced roster on both teams for sure. One of the things I like about Ivy, and we don't get to see Ivy as frequently as we used to, is also the macro possibilities you get with the rotations using the ult to pick up a teammate and quickly go to objectives or grab someone for a variety of reasons, or in mid-fight to get the barrier, or when you get the silence on it, which can be like a 3-second team-wide silence, because with Mystic Expansion that that thing hits everything. So like there's a lot of utility from Ivy that I think sometimes goes understated. And Jake, I think those Vortex web builds with the Kudzus and the Alk Fire kind of go pretty hard in some of these team fights when you're dealing with heavy frontliners with the Shiv, the Silver, even the Bebop that would all be playing kind of close. So I can see that going pretty hard.
I do kind of like Ivy here in the matchup against Silver and Shiv, because you could save people, like something like Ivy just flying away. Silver is just not going to be able to deal a single point of damage to somebody getting flown away by Ivy. So that you can get on top of heroes, and the melee damage is monstrous in that Lycan form, but if people are flying away, if they're very mobile against you, you're not going to be able to do much of anything at all. So there's a bit of a double-edged sword with that Lycan curse. It is something of a curse, right, in the wrong kind of a spot in the team fight. So I don't hate the Lowkey W draft. I think they do have a win con. I'm just very scared to be a team that has the late game advantage, giving up the early game dominance to Abrahams. Like, if Taz has a crazy Bebop game, this game could just be over in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that is what I'm scared of. I'm just scared of the amount of activity, the amount of rotating and global presence. You have tons of rotations from Mina and Bebop constantly. GT coming in with birds to finish kills. I'm a little scared. Like, the tempo advantage is going to be huge. Lowkey W, I think the lanes, they're going to be under a lot of pressure to really deliver a solid performance in that first 10 to 15 minutes to keep the game on even footing so that they can actually get to the late game. They can really activate these key power spikes for their team.
Yes, it's I gotta say, when you were talking about the Silver, you reminded me of I played one game of Silver so far, and you're talking about how hard it is for Silver to hit the Ivy flying around. my lane that I got to play against with Silver was against Vindicta Grey Talon. They were in the sky the entire lane, and I'm like, come on, man.
You're like, bro, let me melee you. Let me just one time. I'm just gonna be. I'm friendly. It's a friendly melee. I just want to build up some attack speed stacks.
Actually, the worst lane ever. So, yeah, maybe that's. Hey, we're not seeing Vindicta. You know, that's actually something that was. She was. I don't know. She kind of came up and then.
I think the change is a nerf to Vindicta. That's the unfortunate thing. So the patch change came in for Vindicta. If you didn't know, previously the snipes you were able to finish kills with your snipe, your ultimate on Vindicta. Previously, it was giving you bonus souls. You max that out, you're getting 500 bonus souls, or 600, I think, plus probably like 700-800 bonus souls total. Something crazy amount of snowballing in your economy from kills, and people were saving all their points to just instant rush max the ult and get a ton of kills and have a ridiculous soul count. However, now it gives you plus gun damage, which is technically infinitely scaling. But honestly, I think it was a little better to be able to rush some like very powerful items off those snipe kills. I think that does a little bit more than the technically infinite scaling of gun damage. So I think with these new changes, Vindicta is a little bit, in theory, more of like a hard carry. And I'm not really a believer in the Vin hard carry. I think you're just too easy to counter with items in the late game. Phantom Strike and Knockdown. I don't know if it makes sense at this level of play to invest all your eggs into that basket.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll see what Aiden thinks later on. I think that's the true test, I suppose. If there's a way to do it, Aiden will be the one to show us in the NA portion of the show one of these days. Ooh, look at that. Look at the freeze frame there. Silver in all of her glory. Her lycanthrope glory.
It is going to be together. Ooh, baby.
Let's go.
Let's see the together Silver. Customary pause to open our game. This is tradition here on the night shift. Not exactly, but basically we could just say that, and then it kind of makes it okay.
True. I mean, this is how all of my games start. Yeah, like
exactly.
Basically, the Deadlock Zeitgeist.
I'm not mad at it though. I think they've balanced it well now. You get like 3 pauses. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you get a minute and a half to like figure your stuff out in the early game. You don't want to just lose because your guy's AFK for 30 seconds and you get like first blooded on the wave. Uh-oh. But he's in a little bit of a scary spot. He's just dancing with Billy at the melees. He's crazy.
I'd love to see it. I actually got the mark and actually connected the shot after getting the mark, which is always nice. So when you do your little kick attack, you mark them. If you actually connect a shot, you actually get the benefit, which is the same thing, Jake. If you get your level 3 on the first ability, if you connect all 3 shots, you get like a damage bonus. But like that's sort of easier said than done. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean this hero is very combo oriented. I think as we talked about, like the mechanical skill potential. But these marks are really hurt. I love the first skill boot kick. This looks great, actually. I mean, the trades look pretty scary for together. The fact trading with Billy, right, is an impressive result all of itself. Here in the mid lane, you're up against Taz's Bebop and Hoots GT. I mean, this is out of the frying pan into the fire. Paradox going base on the first wave. That is not a great sign. I will say, though, this is a high-level play, good for people learning Deadlock. You can actually base between the waves and mid, and you don't really lose that much. Shout out to production, by the way. Join our Patreon. Guys, the Patreon subs, they do us. That's like the best we can get as far as direct support of the channel. Support of Deadlock Esports. This is the reality of grassroots esports. I think all of us on the show, we've all done we've done the biggest stages in the world, right? We've had the biggest events. We've been to those global lands. But here, humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings in Deadlockers. Yeah, we've been here for 18 months doing this thing. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
We're like humble middles. It's not really the beginnings anymore, right?
I suppose, yeah.
We're in a I think a very healthy stage for the game. To see it growing the way it has with some of these new heroes, a lot of this interest and excitement around it. We're seeing some interest and excitement here in the side lane. Shiv missing the dash and parried in the fog. Beautiful read there. Listic Styles on D-Mob. Longtime foes. They played against each other on other teams in the past, and first trade, Listic gets the better, so D-Mob on notice here.
I think I'm probably always going to say this, but for me, Pocket is so iconic as a Deadlock hero. Like, very, very interesting character in terms of the playmaking, the mobility, and he's had so many nerfs, but he just will never go away. His impact never goes away.
It's a really nice cape, or a really nice suitcase, rather. He goes to the suitcase, like, cancels his own barrage to deny Shiv's damage, more important than getting more barrage stacks. Pretty expertly played by Cosmetical.
Keeping good pressure here. I mean, that's to be expected. from a pocket Yamato lane, it's going to have maximum pressure. It's a very... Just pocket by himself is an expert at the burst damage pressure, and even against the Shiv Page. Shiv Page, by the way, again, if you're newer to this game, is a pretty horrible lane to be up against because Shiv is already very hard to kill, and he can do a lot of damage, and he's so tanky, and Page keeps him alive forever.
Yeah, Shiv's whole kit is more or less damaged. By the way, Together dodges, or rather, Listic dodges another dash from Together. Or rather, what am I saying? D-Mob on the Shiv. This is uncharacteristic of D-Mob, right? To be missing some dashes in the lane. You don't expect to see things like that from him. So a strong sign here. Taz oversteps the mark here, and Blob turns it back in the mid lane. I mean, this is after Paradox sent back up the reset early. Hoot now incredibly low, wave clearing. I mean, this is a great start for Blob. He's getting a lot of the solo souls in this lane. Is gonna, I mean, GT, typically we want to play for the ultra late game gun carry potential on this hero, and this is the kind of start you want to see, snowballing that one. Still, a hook from Bebop can always take that away.
And I do like that you brought up the point where, like earlier, I think in the draft, that Together being on Silver, that this might be, for everybody that's a fan of Silver, might be the best possible person you could see playing this hero right now in the entire Deadlock scene. So it's kind of a treat for us, I think, to see some of the glimpses to what's possible.
Okay.
Got the bag on Listic, who played it earlier.
Shows up in the side lane, turns things around. D-Mob incredibly low. You need to find this finish kill. Listic diving in for it and does find this counter rotation now from Paradox, but the read parry from Hoot. And that could be Paradox going down. I mean, the bird is going to come up very soon here. And oh my gosh, swings around the corner. Break, no escape. What an outplay from Hoot. Bebop now also roams over to the other side lane. Full activity from Abraham. Full court press across the map. Together incredibly low on that Silver is just gonna maybe be able to survive. So the rotation perfectly timed there from Taz to activate here in the early game.
This Abraham's team is honestly so scary. Like, we'll see how the game progresses. Of course, still pretty even at this point. Oh, the pressure there onto the Shiv coming in from Vrake. Really love that pressure. We're gonna get that right click movement to try to expedite the escape here from the likes of D-Mob.
He's coming into the wrong neighborhood, though. There's a pocket here waiting for him. A pocket's super low. Cosmetical has Affliction, but he's super low HP. It's a tough decision right now. Ulti popped from Saint here, trying to turn things around. Cosmetical down, just doesn't see the Shiv coming. And now Yamato has that Shadow Transformation on, trying to put out some huge damage here in the side lane. But now it's just trying to get chased down. Saint, oh, and he finds a lockdown. That's going to be a kill. Oh, okay. Execute's not good enough. Doesn't really matter, though, at this phase of the game. Follows it up with the dash for the finish. And these rotations have put D-Mob right back in the driver's seat of the side lane.
Just the way he also saved the execute, the killing blow on the pocket too. I thought he was going to use it, but then kept it available. But might still have some more action here as we do get the rotation in from Taz onto this lane as well. And 4K advantage.
Bebop in the early game, the rotations are so overwhelming, right? You think you're aggressive, you think you're going to be able to put some pressure down, and instead you end up getting hooked deep under towers and in very compromising spots. So what Taz is able to accomplish in this early game will reverberate through the farm potential of his carries in the late game. So he's able to find more here. Hook could be great. And oh, Paradox, man, only Taz finds these. He does uppercut, though, out of his own Page's lockdown. And the Affliction does hit, I believe, onto 2 players. But the barriers from Page are keeping people healthy, and Bebop is just not respecting this whatsoever. R/slash hits. But good movement. Oh my god, he's diving that. You're crazy, Listic. Absolute wild man diving this deep under Walker at minute 7. Just gonna come back and put some pressure down in the mid lane. And man, who won't back down? He's trying to stick around and clear some creeps, keep that mid tower up.
Yeah, a bit of extra burst damage, but speaking of which, D-Mob finds that onto Cosmetical, just blasts his face, and already a 7k here. It's 7.5 minutes in, and getting some of these Guardians down right before the 8-minute mark is really, really important because it allows you to start gearing up to rotate for the Sinners, which are going to be spawning at the 8-minute mark. And so for both teams here, it's going to be pretty somewhat even capacity to contest these.
Ooh, Mina's in his tough spot here, but luckily Taz is around to scare off the chase. Gonna be able to kill some creeps with Rake, get some of that HP back. Man, we talked about shutting down D-Mob in the early game, and I thought Listic was on the road to doing that with a couple good trades in the lane, but I mean, it's all falling apart now. D-Mob on a streak, top souls in the lobby. This is scary. I was saying this is the one thing that can't happen, right? Let the Shiv get off to a hot streak. This is a game where Shiv, I think, is going to be very empowered. He's got great support around him and has pretty tough heroes in terms of like their ability to match up against him. Execute's gonna hurt. And a hook, oh, cancels that Ivy Splash. She's caught under tower. Has to pop the Stone Form just to stay alive for now, but takes a big hit of damage and D-Mob gets the kill. It's always D-Mob.
You're right, though. Like, the pressure that comes in from Taz rotating on the Bebop is really, really difficult to deal with. Constantly disrupting these lanes. And this Sapphire Guardian on the right side there for Abrahams is looking quite weak at this point. And there is a defense, though. Shadow Form comes on through. And the Bird, though, just as quick to obliterate Listic. He's gone.
And we should note these bird kills, by the way, they provide infinitely scaling spirit power to GT. Great talent. And so when he rather is able to get into the late game with a lot of those stacks, you're theoretically able to hit insane amounts of damage burst, which is going to be really valuable. And the kill participation only goes up. D-Mob doesn't have a single green item on Shiv. That's crazy work. I mean, he's going to get both of the power spikes, and oh my god, he's even going to contest doubles? He's crazy.
I love it.
Shiv, I guess. Just Shiv things.
I mean, he's 9k. He's like so fat right now. I don't think anyone can reasonably challenge him. You need at least a couple players. And there's the assist. The Taz is just around the corner, and the rotation coming into the mid lane here. It's certainly very scary for Lowkey W, who find themselves 7k behind again here. You were talking about this, Jay. Oh, okay. That was a bit close.
Dude, every time Taz goes for the hook, I clench. Here comes the counter rotation, though. Lowkey W, they recognize they have to stop the bleeding. They have to get a good team fight off. No opportunity, though, to pop an Affliction. They do find that kill already onto Together Silver, though. Shutting him down before the Lycan Curse can come in. See if that bird comes in and drops some damage. It's going to hit onto 2, and that does help secure the kill onto Trax. No stacks gained for Hoot, though, unfortunately for him. They're going to be happy enough just to get that Ivy kill into Sonya, who also does want to get up into the farm. And a Dispel Magic already for Mina, recognizing that this item is just non-optional.
And there we go. We get, once again, D-Mob on top of people with that Shiv, looking indomitable as the Flying Strike is going to be connecting, getting right up onto the roof to take down Mina. The ever dodging, ever teleporting Mina gets taken out. And, okay, attention, though, from D-Mob is never something you want.
I mean, I will say, even D-Mob a little bit scared with the life buff, didn't hard chase that. Maybe just didn't feel like there was actually a real kill possibility with full HP Yamato just backing off. This next buy, I wonder what it's going to be for D-Mob. The Torment Pulse or Decay. The way he's building so aggressive, but I think this because he's got Bebop and Page perma enabling him. Bebop, by the way, lasering in the side lane, trying to clear off this attack. It's still not going to be enough though to defend the tower, and the burst isn't enough to kill Taz. So Abrahams, I think they're going to be happy to get out of that one with their lives. However, Bird comes in, stuns a couple that could help Mina get out of this one.
And the Urn is looking like he's going to get deposited. There's a bit of a challenge though on the right side whilst that big fight's happening over the left. The Urn does get dropped here. Just trying to desperately try to turn this one in. The denial though coming on through from Blob is actually really, really good here. But the assist though coming from GT from Hoot is going to actually destroy the guy's attempt for a block. And in fact, they'll get the kill and the Urn.
Urn is so big right now, and the lead is growing. 10k solely. We talked about this. This is what this Abrahams draft is all about. Snowballing an early lead, getting to a ridiculous tempo spike that the enemy just can't deal with. Sort of the same thing that happened to Lowkey W last game. They were at this really big deficit in the early game, but they were able to bring it back. This time, though, they're up against the champs, the big dogs in EU. Ivy flying through, considering whether she wants to get into an engagement, and finds a nice stone form onto Bebo, who's caught in the corner. Listic, you cannot disable this Yamato in shadow form, so she's able to get that cleanup kill on the Taz, but it took a lot of players to make that happen. And here comes the counterpunch. D-Mob, heavy soul investment into the Shiv. What can he produce in the team fight? For now, the enemies just don't want to face him.
Shriek goes down there on the Billy, and Abrahams are in a just prime position here to continue the assault. The Guardian's going to fall, and they might go for some more here, looking to participate in more kills as they go deep through the enemy jungle there, looking for these up onto the rooftops as well. And it's a couple more converted for a pretty tidy 15k lead at this point. And some of the fights that we saw from Lowkey W in the last game, Jake, where they were able to turn this around, it doesn't look like they are seeing any of those fights just yet.
Yeah, it's like a pack of coyotes, man. Abraham's just running around the map, and an early mid-boss. This is an Abraham's trademark. They don't even have the ults to really make this clean. They just know Lowkey W don't have them either. Are they going to get in? Are they going to make this contest? They have no choice, and the advantage is huge. Abrahams want to force a fight, and they want it right now. D-Mob, full HP on the ship, just got off that Vitality investment buy on 4,800. He is looking for some heads.
Yeah, Crystal drops on down. There comes the quick chain gang there. Can they deny this? Can they get any steals here? Lowkey W looking so desperately for this. And the parry's coming on through right now as the crystals are attempted to be gained. And in fact, the crystals are gone. They are non-existent.
All crystals died instantly, but Abrahams don't care about it. They're getting the team fight they were looking for, and it's a sweep. Together on low HP, he's going to be backing off in the Lycan form. And Blob didn't even come to this fight, just didn't believe that it was winnable. Which, honestly, I don't hate this play. At least there's no Reju crystals against you, but are you going to die for this one? I mean, Demov's rotating in for the counterpunch. Oh, he's going to go for this. Wait, he's going to try and hide this? No way, he's getting zip knocked here if he goes. Yeah, and in a tough spot. Does instant rip the swap onto Mina, who's juking him well with some of these shots, taking that 1v1. And actually, hold on, he might get out of this one.
Yeah, looking like it could be possible. No, Demov's coming on through. There's no killing blow, but still, the Sonya sniper, they're around the corner with the Mina. The burst damage is too much to overcome. And in the meantime, the rest of Lowkey W are working on that right side at the moment. Very healthy Walker, though, on the right side, looking for the jungle invade as well. Perhaps they can get or initiate a fight. They're looking for it. They have the Paradox swap there online from Drake to maybe find something. There's the swap there through the time wall, able to get that kill surely onto the Bebop. Finally, Taz goes down, but can they get out here? They've killed off one. They don't want to allow that to get chased now by the rest of Abrahams as they come back to this.
Yeah, this is the kind of fight you need to find, right? Get a quick kill on somebody, overwhelm them with number advantage. Hey, they're going to get a double Sinner's steal off of that. And they do technically have Walker advantage, but the soul deficit is a steep situation right now. Abraham's at full strength. I just don't think there's any hope for Lowkey W to fight. They need to play the macro game right now. And speaking of the macro game, man, Listic just caught in the mid lane. You know, you're trying to push this one out. You're trying to put some pressure on your opponent.
Oh my god.
That wasn't even that deep. Who's just hunting kills. Sends a bird in first to initiate immobilization from Paige, and the damage follow-up is coming here. Gotta just bail out of this one. This is a team fight. And oh, what a hit. Unbelievable connection from Hoot.
See, it's plus 50 on his ult. Oh my god.
This is crazy. This is like, dude, he has boundless. Oh my god. I mean, his damage is unreal. This is a monster threat right now in the game. Together also on the silver, off to a nice start. I want to see what she can do in some of these team fights. He's gone for the Rusted Barrel. Interesting choice here. I think Rusted Barrel probably one of the least bought items for low-level players, but very, very underrated choice. It is a very potent tool at shredding enemy armor, at making that so they can't 1v1 you. And an Urn aggressively dunked here. Billy trying to disrupt this. But you're 5-on-5. This is another fight that Abrahams want. They want this kind of a battle here in the mid lane. And the execute's not good enough for the kill, but Listic is not long for this world. Demov dashes through one, on to the next now. Considering a Walker dive alongside his silver together, has that Lycan form online, is able to get a little bit more damage down. Here he goes, Curse beckons now. Paradox, you're not long for this world. Locked down under the tower by Paige as well. Saint, great setup on that one. Silver gonna take the rest of the Curse to push it out on mid. Slowing Hex onto Bebop. Could be caught in trouble. Has the teleport out though. I think he is gonna be fine on this one.
I think Hoot's too much of a damage threat. Like the damage output from Hoot is ridiculous at this point, and there's just not much that you can do about that. And the problem is it can turn fights instantly because you think, oh, I'm fine going for this fight, and then there's like 3 power shots like 2 seconds later, and you have 10% HP.
Yeah, who can probably solo anyone in the game with 3 shots? Like at this moment, I wonder if he doesn't just go like Spirit Burn next and you just die. You get arrowed one time. You might be literally die to 1 arrow if you don't have enough green investment.
Headed to green.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. You're going to need Spellbreakers. Everyone's going to need Spellbreakers and
Counterspell is a great
resist.
item. In terms of matching up against GT, you can counterspell somewhat consistently against the bird and even the arrows. That's probably the only thing that really does enough. And Spellbreaker is so expensive given this soul deficit. But let's see some of the damage GT can bring to bear. Oof, man, like no one wants to peek him. No one can take this fight, which is just creating pretty immense quantity of space here on the map. Like you just can't play in the open against Hoot and Taz. You can't play in the close quarters against Demov and Saint and together. I'm starting to wonder where's the fight going to be for Lowkey W. They're playing it patiently though, which I think is wise. They need to wait for Abrahams to get a little bit greedy and overextend.
Yeah, I think your description there is just the options in the open and in close spaces really does show the sheer power that we see from this roster. And who's just up there in the sky? He's got complete aerial superiority. You do need some like surface to air missile systems to deal with him at this point.
Like we didn't talk about much in the draft, but the Holiday ban is actually proving to be so potent for Abrahams. I feel like by banning the Holiday, yes, Paradox Swap, you can hit the GT, but it's a much harder a skill to connect on like a backline flyer. It's a more natural connection, right? To paradox swap like a frontliner and get them overextended. Much harder to actually find that on a GT who's playing safe. And so where a Holiday would maybe be able to get into your backline and sort of choose her target, the question is who's going to stop who, right? Like who's going to deal with him? Swap popped on a D-Mob, but that's a pretty defensive swap, and I don't know about stepping up into this one, Blob. When Dash comes off cooldown, Geist should be dead to rights. Doesn't even need it, just has that execute maxed out now, so when he does get a finishing blow, it's going to reset the cooldown.
I gotta say, Jay,
now.
Lowkey W have been very good about keeping these walkers up for as long as they have, but that might be about to change here as they're looking to try to defend the left lane. They're going to have to give this one. There comes the Nox Nostra over the top. That's going to just zone away the opponents there, leaving that Walker barren exposed. And it's going to be an easy cleanup, presumably, for the rest of Abrahams. The swap, though, here onto the Mina, she is kind of weak, but the raid comes on through. She gets the HP back as well. And she's going to be in a really good spot here as now Demoff has been unleashed, looking to go forwards deep into enemy lines here to chase these kills.
Yeah, I mean, has max rage now. The double dash is going to be cutting players apart. Counterspell, good for a little bit of a heal. Page ulti as well. Gonna keep Demob up, and they've done the damage, right? You don't need to stick around for this Walker. You've done 4 kills into this one. So yeah, Lowkey, they make the defense, but you only have 2 players left. It's gonna be like Taz and it's gonna be Taz and Saint continue to push this Walker, which I think isn't gonna happen. I think the respawners are gonna be enough, but the lead just continues to grow, and Hoot patrolling with that owl. Gonna probably just clear this wave out and make things even more difficult from a macro perspective. You're just claustrophobic on this Lowkey W map.
A 40k difference at like just before the 20-minute mark is pretty crazy to see that.
Yeah, this is like nearing GG territory. I mean, this is like Abrahams are just going to instant force a mid boss if they get the opportunity to do so. He has like every freaking shred item in the game on silver. Like I will say, your first skill when you max it out, that nuking damage, it actually does scale based on shred. It's one of the very few skills in the game that scales based on gun shred. So anything you do to reduce that bullet resistance is going to be very valuable. Yamato does get out with the urn, which will be a favored urn, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a mid-boss force on the cards. Instead, they're looking for kills, and they found a very valuable one. Blob, I believe he just counterspelled the Shiv ulti to stay alive, but it just kept him up for a second longer. It does deny the cooldown reset from Shiv, so there is some enduring value to that, but you're getting an urn and you're giving a mid-boss. This is not the trade you're hoping for when you're in a down game.
This is tough too because, again, if you guys are new to Deadlock Esports, as we see this this mid boss go, I mean, I'm going to hold the thought because we might get a dive here from Lowkey W. You kind of want to try something. They do have Pocket. Cosmetical has Affliction, so the Affliction is the big game changer.
They're lacking some of the damage to clean this one up quick, and Yamato's going to come into this. There's absolutely going to be a contest here. Lowkey W, Listic comes in, rips the Shadow Transform, has to find all of these parries. Affliction onto 3. The Reju Crystal's the prize. Lowkey W finds 2. Hold on, they get all 3. Abrahams, they have just tossed this game away. Lowkey W fighting with triple crystal. Listic does it again. Back into the Night Shift, onto the signature Yamato. Shadow Form in the pit, even with the 30k soul disadvantage. Abrahams get clapped, sent back to spawn. Lowkey W don't get to save a rejuve going out of this one, but that is all you could hope for, given the dire state of the game. Abraham's overconfidence, pride cometh before the fall, and fall they do. Only Hoot stays alive from that one.
Oh my god, it was more than a 30k difference. It was closing in towards 40k. That's ridiculous. What an absolute steal. We were basically saying, I mean, and by the numbers, you look at a game of Deadlock like this, and it does feel over, but just takes the right team synergy there, the right combination of abilities, and somebody who is as ballsy as Listic. And indeed, they've got a Walker advantage. That's ridiculous, Jake.
I will say,
it doesn't make sense.
Even as the dust settles, this is still Abraham's game to lose. It's a 10k soul advantage, is a meaningful advantage. I think that's just overconfidence from Abraham's. Like, in the end, one thing that bad thing about the draft is they don't really have any damage for the mid boss, right? Like, Mina, Hoot, or rather Great Talon, like, these are heroes who do great damage against enemy heroes, but you don't have like that Warden or Wraith that's just gonna bring huge gun damage. You do have, though, this player connection, Kinetic Carbine, giving Paradox the movement speed to maybe get out of this one. And get out is all you want to do. Walker advantage. It's time to play defense for Lowkey W. Just try to recoup what you can in this soul differential.
Jake, it was like a 40k difference against Abrahams.
I mean,
it's like a 10k
I hate to
difference
say
now.
it. It's been a while, but this is a little bit of a classic Abrahams throw. you know, going for a very risky mid boss. In a sense, though, like I totally get it because, you know, Lowkey W were doing the urn. So actually, at this level of play, forcing the mid boss when the enemy's taking urn away is actually like a pretty common strat and one that usually works out well. I think they just had a little bit low damage. Like it took a little bit too long to clean the mid boss up, and so the punish could come in.
Just incredible stuff there. So Lowkey W, it's hard to put these guys down in a way. We'll see if they can really capitalize on this window that they have to bring this one back. As you say, still a disadvantage, but going in for the mid fight here, trying to find
Shiv.
a lockdown, a swap onto the Shiv there. Demov looking to try to escape and just juke away, but the focus fire continues. The movement though, and there is the lock on, the flying strike. If you take down Who, that's everything. Shadow transformation, big damage done. The connection onto Who, eviscerated there by Listic as he's got a 3K streak, and the damage continues, but Demov and Taz combining there, and they've managed to rally back to this defensive line here, Jake. They're still fighting. They're still trying to stay alive here, Abrahams.
Let's see what Taz can get done in this fight. Brawling, has armor, has divine barrier. He's pretty tanky. Demov is healed up. He's back into this fight. Finds the execute onto Sharik. Gets that heal beam heal. Listic had to use the ultimate for that kill. He's just running for the hills. Doesn't have a way to take this fight. Mid lane, though, is very pushed against Abrahams. So they're not going to be able to really pressure this walker. They may try and force a side walker, but the cracks are just beginning to show. I feel like that huge mid-boss fight brought Lowkey W back into the game, and we're starting to see, hey, there is an answer for Who. If Yamato can get on top of him, then yeah, you just don't have the tankiness to be able to survive that. You need some sort of peel. You need some sort of save, which could be in short supply in a game as contested as this one.
Yeah, that is the answer. Certainly the talisman for the team, Listic, at the moment. Pressure onto that left walker.
Get some damage, but they wisely don't commit to that. I mean, that could have gone really wrong if you stick around there. Gun buff. It's going to be given over to Bebop. Interesting choice. I mean, the fire rate is an incredibly valuable stat on Bebop, and actually, I think it's probably pretty terrible on a Silver, given that she just doesn't utilize fire rate well, since her fire rate is so insanely slow. Amping it by a percent is actually not particularly good compared to Bebop, who's essentially the opposite. And uh-oh, hold on. Here's the catch, potentially. But the curse, oh, the trap does break the link from Listic. It allows Hoot to slip away with the urn, and it's an even urn. So it's time for an odds-on fight with 15k soul advantage for Abrahams. This is one that they should feel good about forcing. Listic has popped an ult, though. There's a fight in the side lane. Yeah, Hoot has to drop the urn and just throw a bird out to try to get active into this one.
Yeah, this fight could be really, really key right now. Taz is going to get targeted. He gets shielded so that he might survive. And still the focus here. Lowkey W have to win this fight. They're going to give up the urn for this. They've got to make it count, though. Silver in on the action. The knockdown, the burst damage onto the Lycan form. Is he able to get any more refreshes? They're trying to burst down his opponent, but does get taken out. In comes Listic just in time. And this fight still rages on as they try to get a max value from this one. Look at where on earth. What?
Oh my God,
where is he?
Stuck in the wall. He has to unstuck. He has to unstuck. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. All right, guys. Deadlock is a game in it's in the alpha stage. You know, it's technically a closed alpha. As this is, you see why one of our most fun heroes is in the wall. All right. What's going on elsewhere in the fight? He can unstuck this though. Yeah, there he is. So there is a dev tool in the game still. By the way, I think Demon might die for this. Although, hold on. Maybe it's actually Lowkey W, all low HP, and Demon is now back into the fight. See if he wants to fight this round against him. He needs help though. He's kind of in the wrong neighborhood with the GT bird coming in. Maybe that's a little bit too scary to stick around and chase. Man, I mean, Hoot is so sick with this bird, man. His maneuvering, I can't believe he made it through the freaking secret shop without hitting a wall.
Yeah, man, this is a very scary situation. Okay, so but it's going to be this lead really ballooning again for Abrahams. They're back onto that just shy of a 30k lead. So mid boss is back. Now the question is, okay, Who is he going to get caught here? Looking for the swap is the paradox here, but he looks like he should be able to escape. Silver's coming on into the action. Everybody's collapsing onto this fight.
Silver needs to get that Lycan curse off. Needs to find just a shred more damage. There it goes. Okay, that curse. Now he's going to turn around, take that fight, disarm some of the opponents. Doesn't want to stick around though. Recognize this doesn't have the team support to stay into this one, but he has the healthiness to be able to back out of that. It's a nice situation already. Lowkey W taking a lot of damage on a lot of key players. Geist rips the swap, still into this one, but Who bringing that damage in the sky. Listic maybe going to be looking for this kill, but Listic himself is low. Needs to get that ult off, but can't quite get it. It was silence was disabled somehow. Couldn't get the Yamato ult off in the fight. And Abraham's fine 2 for nothing. Maybe going to turn into more. And oh, look at that arrow bite, man. Good luck getting out of this one, Ivy.
Yeah, the damage potential is too much, and the bomb's coming in as well. It really is just too much spirit damage. explosive stuff there, and now into the mid boss.
up.
And there's no
Surely this
Yamato to
time.
stop this.
Surely this time it's a clean one for Abrahams, right?
It's got to
They're
be.
gonna go for it. I mean, you don't even have affliction. Like, what is Pocket really gonna do? They're getting baited to get off the mid boss though, and yeah, I think they do just need to stick around and commit on this one. 20 seconds on these spawn timers. This should be free. Contesting it, I think, is pretty risky from Lowkey W. They go for the swap. Pocket comes in, teleports in, tries to get some parries, hitting many parries. If he even gets one crystal, this would be worth it. But not a single one, and 3 players invest into that. Lowkey W went all in on that play, and now it's Abraham's turn to leverage their advantage. This is the moment to win the game, Dan. I feel like if you give up this push, we're gonna get to that point in the game where the Lowkey W comp really comes online, and some of your early game investments could start to fall off. However, this is a very tenuous hold to have to make.
Yeah, it's not having Yamato in the fight there. Just it was everything, and now it should be easy for Abrahams to take down this mid walker and to steamroll the base. But as you say, we'll see what Lowkey W can do.
Huge kill. That's one of your best defenders in Lady Geist, right? Without her, and oh no, Listic caught 2. This is a crumbling now. Lowkey W, you have to stop the bleeding here. You surely just cannot let Listic go down. They're flanking him. They're surrounding him from multiple angles. And Shiv's diving. Shiv wants this kill. Wants to at least force an ulti.
Whoa.
But just couldn't quite get close enough to that killing blow threshold. It takes some serious hits, by the way.
Yeah, the melee is no joke from the the base guardians.
Yeah, the new base guardians hit hard, man. You've got to respect those things. You really do want to clear those. You can no longer parry them either. Tass, speculative hook there. Doesn't find anything this time. Gonna keep looking for those though, and you're on notice as a Lowkey W player. You get hooked into the death ball from Abrahams right now, and it is all over but the crying. They've got to somehow find a way to bleed off these rejubes as the shrines start to get sieged here. Oh, a hook on a Listic. That's a tough kill. Listic instantly forced to the ult though. Relatively defensive move. Affliction tries to come in. It does get the bebop as well. He's hooked in, but remember, this is against the triple rejube together. Gets that Lycan curse off, and it looks like Abrahams just want to back out of this one. They take a ton of big spells. Maybe they could take a reset. They have enough time on this rejube to heal up and go back in. I think they're going to do just that, making the smarter play, recognizing this is not a game you want to play around with. Lowkey W can make these comebacks happen.
Okay, that's a 50k difference almost now. Map control is certainly with Abrahams. All the lanes are pretty pushed. Now they're going to pick up the urn as well. So it's going to be a comeback urn. So that's really favorable positioning for Lowkey W. But obviously with the soul differential, you still massively favor Abrahams. This is a good way for Abrahams to potentially force a fight, because Lowkey W, can they just let this go for free?
It's so tough. Like I think you actually have to. I don't really have much of a choice. You just don't have the ultis to really take this contest. And they're playing it safe at Abrahams. They're going to wait until their frontliners come and secure the area. But I think walking out of base is not a good look here. It's going to have to be a free urn. Still some base guardians up in the side lane, so it could be a difficult place to siege. Mid is going to be a little bit more exposed. What the hell? Hoot is in deep, man. Hoot is looking for some damage. Counterspells the knockdown. Great play there. And I mean, one arrow shot is proccing Spirit Burn. So just a single arrow is enough to really set up serious kill threat on a lot of these players. Gonna go for the burn, like into the spawn here. Goodness gracious, these players just cannot catch a break. Rain of arrows right now from Hoot. They're not even interested in the shrines. They want the player kills.
Yeah, just really trying to get those kills, and that would ultimately secure the shrines as well. But these shrines are getting battered. I mean, just on the scaffolding there on the side, it's doing whatever she wants. Sonya Sniper having full free reign of things here. There's just too many targets to deal with for the defenders.
Pocket in big trouble. Yeah, Sonya's dancing on him now. Rips the Nox Nostra, silencing all the opponents, keeping them caught in the base. Yamato can't quite get any value, can't get the skills off under the threat of that silence. And surely, finally, it's going to be time for Abrahams to look for these shrines, but they're so focused on suppressing the defenders. Recognizing that these new shrines are actually a very serious defensive tool. You can't take them lightly. Drake went all in. I think must have been hooked in by Taz. There's no way he went to that position willingly.
And there it is. The second shrine has been eliminated as well. And now finally the Hidden King can get eliminated. Stage 1 looking like it's getting absolutely melted. Are they going to back away? They're actually going to back away. I feel like they could stage egg. I don't feel like there's really
I think this is after the game they've had. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I think they could have finished too. But they also probably all have a massive bank of souls to spend. And that's probably the biggest reason to back off here. I think with the player advantage they had, they arguably could have ended. But I will say, Dan, the new pit is a very serious defensive advantage. Like, if you can't kill the players instantly in the pit, you are in a very bad spot. Like once the patron gets immortal. So if you don't know, guys, you're just watching competitive Deadlock for the first time. If defenders are in the pit, like the patron pit, for long enough, they make the patron actually immortal. If there's 2 defenders in the pit, 1 defender in the pit will give it 50% damage resistance. So it's very hard to end if you can't get a solid team wipe on the defenders and really keep them out of that part of the map. But they're looking to do just that. Abrahams, they brought their opposition outside of the base. Listic still healthy. D-Mob is not. Affliction's gonna kill him here. And Listic gonna add insult to injury, trying to help him get this kill. He's getting the heals. Wait, hold on. Is Affliction gonna actually kill this ship? He's getting a ton of support now from the teammates. Full desperation for Listic. Surely he's gonna be able to finish this one. Goodness gracious, that ship was living way too long. And a hook though, adding insult to this one. Taz brings the Ivy way out of position, and this could be the team fight they were looking for. D-Mob is down. They need to find some more kills, and hold on, where's the support for Taz? He's kind of in here all alone. Maybe he's overstepped the mark. The rest of Abrahams, no attention to continue to commit into this base. Divine Barrier keeps him a little bit healthy for now, but needs to just make it to that base entrance to get some support. Still a big player advantage here. You'd think this would be enough to be able to finish and close out the game, but this is the threat of that patron. Yeah, you got to respect it. I think this is kind of the meta right now. You got to be very worried about taking a risky siege in the opponent throne.
And it's actually taking some damage. I'm not sure what's hitting it right now, but I guess it's crazy. So that was quite a lot of
There's 2
damage.
players to contest mid, by the way, and the Ivy's going to come too. At this point, it's do or die. Shiv is down too, and some of these players are not super healthy, but you don't have an Affliction from Cosmetical. Same time, the mid boss not going down easy. They need to pump a lot of damage in this one to get it down.
Yeah, they're going to actually abandon it for now. Oh, Pocket comes in. Cosmeticals found 1v1 against Silver
the
here.
Lightning Curse!
Oh,
And the
no.
barriers from Paige, they're so good. They turn together, it's like back to 4,000 HP in a second. Oh my god, and mid boss drops. It's only Ivy to make this contest. She's going to fly in. I mean, this looks so impossible, though. Surely not, right? Yeah, Silence can't even get that stone form off. Just has to go for the gamble parry, but Abraham's old hands now at Deadlock. Surely this is the game, Dan. 3 players down, full rejuice for Abraham's, full buffs as well. They're going to walk this one over.
Yeah, nothing to get in their way now. Just an onslaught that cannot be stopped. They know they've got it in the back here. And Abrahams, they've had some scary moments, like you said, but this is it. This is the moment to finish off game 1. This is map 1. This is the best of 3.
Hero damage. He is absolutely farming hero damage. Look at that. That's Yamato. That's a tanky frontliner. Just lose a third of her HP. Bird coming in now. Tries to finish off, get some assassination kills, and Hoot. Just absolute spawn camping right now. Abrahams reassert their dominance. Listic in the backline with the shadow transformation. Paige counterspells the curse though from the patron, so I learned something new every day here on the night shift. Very cool play there.
Oh yeah,
a little bit of techers to close it out.
There you go. You love to see it. And there we go. That's map 1. And of course, there's another map to go here for Abrahams to lock in the victory, win the money match. That's y'all in the chat have been so awesome to donate to that prize pool. That's where the tips go. But that is the 1-0. And I think for Lowkey W, I mean, they really do have some staying power despite some of these rough starts that they seem to get themselves into. They do find ways back into the game, so huge credit for them there. And there's a lot of draft to be had. They can isolate where the problems were in the draft and what the danger points were, and they can try to draft around it to maybe create a better situation for themselves in map 2.
Yeah, I feel like they had that huge moment on the mid boss, turning it around with an insane counterplay from Listic. But in all their phases of the game, frankly, this was Abraham's game, man. They were full control. Hoot, just server admin on the Grey Talon, bringing absolute heat. I feel like this Taz Bebop, I don't want to give this away again, man. He's so nasty with the hooks. Early game dominance, like destroys the lane, roams, and has huge impact across the map. Listic was the standard bearer, though, for Lowkey W. He kept this game in contention almost single-handedly at some points with the mid-boss, with some of these kills on the Hoot. But it's just too hard to keep up. Abrahams, they adapt so well mid-series, mid-map, and then at some point it really felt like, okay, Listic is just tanking every single spell in the game. There's only so much he can do.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's just the late game scaling looks really nice. I mean, the game, it wasn't really all that much about together, I think, for a while. You know, you had so much damage output and dominance and presence from both Hoot, Taz, and D-Mov. Obviously, you know, I think we had a lot of, not throwing any shade out at any of the other players, but just in terms of, you know, those Taz hooks and rotations were really oppressive. D-Mov on the shift had a just blinder of a start, got really far ahead and was bullying the map So these were like some very difficult things for them to deal with. They just didn't have the answers until Listic got a little bit stronger towards that mid game, and then they were able to make some plays. But they were just otherwise, I just felt like the roster was lacking a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to get the stats for you guys in just a moment and be able to check out maybe some more of the data on what actually happened in that last series, why, some of these plays were so dominant from Abrahams. But in a way, part of it's stats, but I think part of it is, a certain je ne sais quoi. This is just Abrahams, right? Like the way they're diving into the base, going for kills before the shrines. I think I see the problem, Dan. I think Hoot having 80,000 hero damage in a 36-minute game is not normal.
This is not normally. Yeah.
Crazy.
You gotta probably maybe consider banning who at least on the GT. And this is not something that I think is too surprising, because GT, this is the kind of stuff GT could historically do, but obviously he's got a little bit some buffs in these recent updates, and just the way the complexion has changed in the meta. Now GT's a big threat again, and we talked about it, right? We said that Abrahams are going to set standards.
Yeah, man, and they just do it every single week back to back. This team is indomitable. I feel like when esports orgs come to Deadlock, these guys have to be number one. I mean, it's Melee Creeps and Abrahams. They have set themselves a real standard. And Lowkey W, they're not out of the series yet. It is a best of 3, but it just feels like the gap is real here, Dan. Like, I can't even lie to you. I want this to be a really close series. I want to see more from Lowkey W, and I think, we're seeing the potential, right? You think about the game from like that Listic is having. That is the potential to actually be on the level of Abrahams. Like, Listic is right there as a player, and this is a team that's kind of recently formed, right? Like, this is some fresh roster changes, some big adaptations. So I wouldn't expect them to really bring it to Abrahams in their first time out. I just need to, it's crazy. Like, you need to see the same game out of Listic over and over and over again. That's the question. Can he actually deliver that against the best team in the world, or at least the best team in EU? I mean, best team in the world, TBD. We got to have a LAN to see the NA versus EU. Of course, Titans in both regions really vying for that spot.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun to see exactly what Lowkey W do against that. I loved the hearts that we saw at Listic, almost just seeing the performance there. And also the fact that, you guys might not realize, but Cosmetical is kind of somewhat of a vision on Pocket. So the fact that we got some like really sick picks there, the Billy on Sharik, like Cosmetical gets the Pocket, Listic on the Yamato. These are like really like premium picks as well. So, oh man, it's going to be super interesting, because I think that Cosmetical is going to be able to pick up the Pocket again. Listic should get the Yamato again. There's opportunities to still get some of these premium picks. You just have to like figure out again like how things change after they banned GT. I feel like that's just happening.
But it's crazy, because what was GT like the 12th pick? I mean, it was one of the last picks for Abrahams. They were like, sure, we'll grab a GT here, but they banned the Lash. So that's the thing, right? You could ban the GT, and then you get the Lash. And the Hoot Lash it's almost even more devastating, right? Because then it's not just the nuking, it's the team fights, right? And Hoot has been just like running over EU, frankly, every time he's played like nothing but Lash in the last 3 weeks and just hasn't lost a game. So I totally get why they banned Lash. Like, that was the perfect ban. And then they just dropped an 80k damage game on Grace. I mean, that's one of the highest damage games we may have ever had on the Night Shift, and not on a hero that like typically gets it. Like, if you play Pocket, Affliction does an insane amount of damage, so like you often have a crazy inflated damage stat on Pocket, even if the game wasn't like the best for you. It just does so much. But for GT to be topping the board like that, like all that damage is like arrows and birds, man. It's him landing those connections, and I love when we got on the Hoot Cam, man, because he was hitting some nasty ones, especially those charge shots, man. Like, I feel bad for the opponents. It feels like he just can't miss.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun to see like how this develops, because like you said, I mean, GT did actually come in really late, so in theory they could have banned it second. Like, would that like happen again? I mean, there's so many high value picks to get in the first 3. So
you might think maybe you don't ban the Rem, because like, yeah, Saint's great on the Rem, but he's also insane on the Page. And I mean, he's got everything in the bag on support. We see this guy play support 7 in the past. So like, what can Saint play? Maybe you don't want to invest your bans on him, and maybe you have to focus on the cores, but there's just a lot of work to get through for Lowkey W to get this one. We'll have to see. We're going to throw things to a short break, give our teams a moment to rest, relax, recuperate, and before they get back in to the rest of this best of 3. Abrahams, they want to close it out here in a quick 2-0, cement their dominance here in Europe. Lowkey W would love to bring it back and force something a little bit more complicated. We'll have to see after this short break. Stick with us. Welcome back to the Night Shift. Abrahams up 1-0 over a newly revamped Lowkey W. Listic put up a huge performance in the last game, but it wasn't even close to enough. Abraham's styling on them. An 80k damage game. I'm wondering what game 2 holds, but I gotta admit, Abraham's look pretty good right now, Dan.
They do, and I mean, this is the cool thing about Deadlock is that the draft is where things could really change because you get to sort of just like troubleshoot the series a little bit, see what's strong, see what's weak. And in one sense, you'd imagine the team that actually loses, they get like that kind of losers advantage, which is always a funny thing to say, but this is the way with any situation where there's like a veto of some kind, whether it's maps or in this case like the bans with heroes, because the other team had something that like worked, and so you now know what that is, and they might want to go back to that, and you can kind of like mess with it, disrupt it, and so that kind of gives you somewhat of an edge. I don't know how you feel about that in Deadlock, Jake. Like, do you think it plays out that way, or?
I think second pick is a little bit of an edge when the meta is like super developed, but I think in a new meta, I think it's almost meaningless. Like, it's something maybe it gives you like a little, but in theory, like first and second pick are just different. They're not, I mean, it's rare that one is decisively better than the other, even if teams prefer one. It's like, yeah, you get the first overall, but we get the, we get to pick a combo of 2 immediately off the bat, right? Which is also quite powerful. So for me, I'm not a big believer that's going to be enough. Lowkey W also came into the series as they came out of the challenger match. They started with that. They got to choose to be first pick in the last game. And I mean, I can't imagine, maybe they'll change that now. It's just a way to shake up the draft. But no, I mean, I think it's understandable. They still think, hey, if they prefer first pick, they're going to go for it again. But I think you're right. They have to change something. I mean, the way that game went, you just have to make Abrahams beat you in some other way, because that was just way too solid across the board, way too comfortable for the Abrahams team.
Yeah, it was, and Lowkey W did go for the Rem again, so they're really putting the respect on the Rem. Don't want to have to deal with that, and so that's fair enough. Maybe there's something to it where they don't want to play Calico, or there's like a sense that you want to kind of respond with a Calico. I'm not sure if teams really care about that, because obviously if you have Rem and the other team doesn't have Calico, then the Rem just gets free roam of the underground spaces in the map. But the Abrams ban comes in, so pretty typical. Usually, what, Billy or Shiv is the pick now.
Yeah, that's been pretty consistent. Lowkey W, the Billy fell flat last game, though. I think it was like 1-11. I mean, a rough game for Sharik. I don't know if that's the hero's fault. I think it's more about the way the game went. But this time they say, no, we're going silver. We're just taking our first overall. She's very relevant in the meta right now. This is 3 of 3 games we're seeing play. I wonder if we won't see some more bans coming out in that first phase. But for now, it's going to be Lowkey W's turn to take the silver. And Listic's time to shine, right? He had a huge game in the last match. However, you're up against the Billy, and didn't work for Lowkey W last time, but I still think Billy is a very serious threat, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, and the interesting thing with the silver pick here is that, okay, Listic can play the silver again, but hang on, what does Together play? Does he play the Yamato? Like, obviously, does he play the Shiv? Like, like there's so much. There we go. It's the Shiv. It is the Shiv. The iconic Shiv pick for Together is extraordinarily scary. You cannot allow Paige to get in Abraham's hands now. You cannot allow this.
Yeah, well, I think that's the plus side, right? You go for the 2 of the best frontliners in the patch right now for Billy and Shiv, but you get a Paige response for Lowkey W. I wonder if they won't also want to grab a Yamato here. The only question is, who's going to take what? Because it'd be hard to argue against Listic on Yamato, but at the same time, he probably also wants to play the silver with how he looked in that challenger match on the hero.
It's in a good pocket in this position, but yeah, it's going to be the Yamato. Maybe that's the ticket here. We'll see how that develops. I wonder if Abraham's pick up the Kelvin. I mean, that's something that Jason was speculating about, and Sai was saying there's a lot of value there, and especially with the Billy Shiv, I can see Kelvin really just being super irritating. But it's the Lash that comes in, and so you don't probably have to worry about the GT, just like you said, Jake.
It's all gonna be fine. It's just Hoot Lash. There's surely nothing you won't get like 6-man death slammed under a walker this game. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I will say you have good tools to deal with Lash this game. Paige is like a classic knockdown builder. It's like almost standard on the build. The fact, though, that you don't get pocket in the top 3, it's always going to get banned out by Abrahams here. It's such a good response to the Shiv, even the Billy who likes to group up against it. So banning it away, it clears some of the way for D-Mob to have a pretty explosive game. And last game, I mean, the end game, he's getting hard focus, wasn't able to do as much, but the early game, it was all D-Mob, just running it over. And Lowkey W, get rid of the Bebop, a wise choice, frankly, because the Taz Bebop, I don't know that you can match that, and I just think you just can't give that away. Like, Taz is great on the Paradox and the Holiday too, but on the Bebop, he that's one that even some of your Initiator players aren't necessarily experts on. They're going to get the Paradox this time, but wouldn't be shocked to see Lowkey W respond with a Holiday and feel pretty good about their spot in the draft.
Yeah, and the 2 picks with Lash and Paradox now is getting kind of scary. That the playmaking that's possible is certainly quite high, but yeah, the cosmetical ban of pocket is interesting. I was going to say, what else does he play? Mina. That's probably where cosmetical is going to find himself now. So he's been secured in the draft. I don't know that he'd play a Yamato, but actually that maybe. I mean, like you were saying, like who plays the Yamato now that's Listic's on the silver? Guess that remains to be seen.
Geist, yeah, a lot of TBDs here. They get the Geist, which I love the Geist right now. I think Geist is probably one of the best of these like late game gun carries, since she has pretty solid early game. Like you don't feel like you're giving up much in the lanes, and then when she gets ultra late, just has one of the best top ends in the game, and can really tangle even with stuff like Billy. Abrahams go with the Warden, so they want a bit of a stock standard gun carry for themselves, and Warden does build in some incredible gun damage in the late game. I don't hate the Warden here, but traditionally Geist has been viewed as a powerful response to Warden, since the uncontrolled damage of the ultimate gets Geist low, and then she just has a force swap, and the McGinnis from Abrahams, let them cook. Let them cook.
What the hell? Okay, that's really, really interesting. McGinnis, that's so interesting.
I will say McGinnis in the late game is a monster. Is like when you get the heal. I mean, this is support
the heal is insane. Yeah.
But when you get that heal maxed out with healing tempo, with like the greater expansion, the heal covers like an entire lane. It's like the entire patron pit, and it has a max percent HP heal. You almost can't fight into it, which for a ability with pretty high uptime is a little bit terrifying, right? Like, yeah, Billy chains you in, pulls you in, Paradox swaps people in. Like the wall is going to be great value here in setting up for a lot of the other lockdowns that they have. And for Lowkey W, it's like you have some powerful front line, but are you going to be able to man up into the McGinnis heal rather? That's to be determined.
Yeah, that's a great point. It is interesting because they did buff it, like they made it so that when you enter and exit it, it kind of persists for a little bit, so that you're going to get more healing out of it. And as you said, the radius is already so insane that I almost don't think that actually matters. But that is late game stuff. That is truly late game stuff, or I would say like 25-minute mark plus. So we'll have to see, like if what they lose from playing McGinnis in the first 25 minutes is if that's actually going to be worth it when she starts to come online with that for the base sieges later on and the objective sieges later on. But here we go. Abrahams, they're one up. We got a very different draw from Abrahams. Lowkey W, are they going to be able to make it good of this when they're up against McGinnis?
All right, people meme on the McGinnis, guys. The chat is spamming. Oh my god, McGinnis! Like they're gonna lose. What a troll pick. They're trolling. McGinnis is slept on, guys. McGinnis is a slept on hero. The biggest downside I think of McGinnis is that you basically can't roam in the early game. Like you're not really a ganker. But what you can do is take towers. You can start to open the map up, and if you get the rotations, and this is a coordinated game, so you better believe Abrahams know this. If the rotations come to the McGinnis lane, she is one of the best early game tower takers, maybe the best in the game. I think that's not a stretch to say. And so you start bringing the rotations over to this side lane, you're able to win some trades. Like the towers start to drop, McGinnis starts to go around the map, taking objective after objective, and pretty soon you're in a scary scenario trying to defend against a McGinnis siege.
I almost wanted the Graves for the counterbalance on like lane push, like just go the opposite like side lane to McGinnis and just like dropping the tombstones. And
I wouldn't mind it, but actually I think McGinnis is probably really good against Graves, because you kind of would love to just defend the tower defense like against the zombies.
Yeah. Plants versus zombies.
Turrets. Yeah, it's PvZ. We know the plants are favored in that matchup.
Oh my god. Okay, we get the pause lock. I know you will love it. You say that you don't, but I know that you do.
Shout out in chat, Lowkey W, Girl Squad. Got the girl gang team up here.
Or the Galdem.
Yeah.
What they would say in the UK in the streets of London, the Galdem. The Galdem.
I don't know what you're saying, but hell yeah, brother.
All right. Okay, so we've got the Holiday Silver up against the Warden Lash. Okay, who do we have? Okay, Listic is on the Silver. Cosmetical is actually on the Mina. Okay.
Or the Yamato, you mean, right?
The Yamato, that is. Sorry, and Sharik is on the Mina, yeah.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have pegged Sharik for us. However, in the past, Sharik did play like the Warden gun carry. It's been a while since we've seen him here on the night shift. Already, Silver's really low in this lane, though. This is something I'm a little bit worried about, is like, I think this hero's a weak laner. And against with Holiday 2 is not a very strong laner either. Uh-oh, up against Warden Lash. Not a good start for Listic. Gets first blooded by Warden, who, this is the gun carry for Abrahams. Like, this is the one you probably want to have a dream start this game, especially when you're going to run a McGinnis draft and you're going to try and clear down towers really fast. He's going to be able to not only get that kill, he's going to be able to steal the small camp, steal some enemy boxes, keep the wave shoving. Nice parry though. Hold on with the counter parry. Sing comes in out of nowhere. It's a burger box here on the side lane. Paige gets a parry of her own that keeps Cosmetical alive. And suddenly it's a 2-0. Lowkey W outplaying on that one. And so both side lanes, they typically, it's actually the side with the small camp that has an advantage in these lanes, but it's actually going the other way, which is pretty surprising.
Honestly, Trax deserves a medal for that. Like, not only saves...
I did not see him coming. Like, I was like, wait, there's no... Who was here? And he just dashes in with the perfect little parry. Man, the rate of fire is so bad on this gun. You do no damage. But wait, with the first kill, though...
They get parried. I was gonna say, don't get parried. There we go.
Yeah, who went for the parry on that one early? Man, this is... Okay, this is a burger box and a half. This is an absolute burger box. Surely this is a free kill. Wait.
He kicked out.
Oh my god.
Wow, what an escape.
Dude, this is one of the craziest early games. This is a classic game 2 in the night shift. Lowkey W, by the way, up 2k souls. I mean, this is the definition of calling that way too early, but it's something.
Wow, that's oh my god, that's crazy. Sanya Sniper had Listic dead to right, so that was epic. Okay.
So the bola preventing you from jumping means you can't mantle over that tiny little wall. It's like, oh man.
So epic. Okay. Well, this time we do have, okay, well, we got Demov on the ship again, which is a scary prospect.
Big damage here in the side lane. Holiday needs to be able to make it. Doesn't matter though. Taz roams into this one, gets that kill in the side lane. And it's going to be a second as well. Listic, surely. Wait. You're taking a lot of tower here, Hoot. Taking a lot of tower. Okay, the Flog lifesteal keeps him healthy. Securing this early game very well for Sonya Sniper.
That was pretty painful, but worked out indeed for Mr. Hoots.
He's going active build too. This is a very, he's going to do jungle camps very, very rapidly in the early game with this build.
Oh, yeah. The active reloads coming on through. Gives you the lifesteal, and also that you get more you get a better cooldown of that than you would for Quicksilver, right? Like this better for
I think
farming
it is
because of that reason.
significantly lower cooldown, and it gives bullet lifesteal crucially, which is a very valuable stat on Gun Warden, who is going to be dealing some terrifying quantities of gun damage in this game. He's going for a lot of risky melees. Now going to take a full power slash to the face. Billy, I don't know about this one. Together, just gambled it all in with the parry, and he just ends up feeding a kill away. Abraham's dying across the map right now. Ooh. Who is locked out? Whoa, the parry just to get as much damage as he can, but he's just too low. Drake gets that cleanup. Looks like gun buff there. For the Mina is going to be a nice something to write home about. Again, is trying to just move her way out of this one. Is in a pretty scary position. But the turret helping to clean up Drax alongside Taz.
Really, like marginal situations here, but Lowkey W coming out ahead ever so slightly on a lot of them. Intensifying magazine coming next. Here for Warden, so yeah, it's all orange.
Yeah, he's gonna have that gun spike very early. Here comes the big roam here from Hoot in the mid lane. Needs to get one. Oh, can't find any. The Death Slam. Dodged by the bats from Mina, and this looks like a very rough gank here, but the swap comes in, and there's more follow-up, even without the Death Slam connecting. Abrahams have the numbers to continue into this one. Counter kill from Break, though, could be big, trying to get on top of the ship. Does get that lasso, and I believe that's mid-dash. Did D-Mob lose the dash cooldown? Seems like he did. He's going to just try and run his way out of this one, get the stamina, and I guess those jumps are going to be good enough. He's taking damage from the bloodletting. A headshot, though, can't quite connect.
You're really looking for it in. Oh my god, looking to actually survive. Cosmetical, 1 HP, gets taken down by Taz eventually. Barely escapes on just almost nothing as well. This is actually quite hard to follow the action. The mid Guardian's getting pushed down by Lowkey W.
Sonya Sniper now being hunted down by the Lycan Curse. But just too much damage on this Warden to disrespect and dive tower.
Oh yeah, of course, they got the 2 transformations, Shadow Transformation and also the Lycan. So that's pretty cool. But Demov going in for the blob. Speaking of the blob, sad, RAP Viscous. We don't really tend to see him now, it seems, but...
Oh, he's ulting. Yamato. Oh, Yamato with the fast track power slash. Surely this is enough. Yeah, and Sonya, even with the ulti, plays out of that one. Doesn't seem to be the case this time. Paradox coming in. Nice cancel there on that zip. Cosmetical. Great tech on the Yamato. Get out of that one. Rotation came in from Taz, and no Joy's gonna have to go back to the mid lane.
Oh, nice connection there with the Mystic Shot as well. On the bombs thrown by Yamato. And indeed, Lowkey W looking to get this mid tower now. Another big push though. Demov coming in on through, but can't deny his mid Guardian from going down. And now scrappy fight here as these players pretty extended to try to take that Guardian down. And the punish attempt from Abrahams is looking kind of nice coming on through, but Demov getting very, very weak there. He's going to have to back away. Is there a pursuit coming on through? Vrek is looking to try to take this one down. He's looking to try to get him. He couldn't get him earlier, but... Oh, no, again.
Wait, Taz not healthy. I don't know if you want this one. He's got a lasso. He doesn't even need it. Taz steps up. Thought he needed to maybe make that play to save Demov, but ends up just feeding a kill away. By the way, Vrek on a 4 streak. So out of all this chaos in the early game, Vrek's really started to profit. Should be a kill for Sonya. If he can find it, wait, good jukes for now. Has to just use that death slam. I mean, you just gotta full respect for the cosmetical Yamato.
Our blue walker is under attack.
So many skirmishes.
Full aggro here in the early game. Lasso comes in from Vrek on a 4 streak, looking to make it 5. Pulling Hoot deep under the tower, takes a bit of an aggro, goes for the risky parry. That's his only chance to play his way out of this one, but Listic gets the cleanup now into the Lycan Curse form. Once again as he looks to push down this left side Guardian. We'll see if I can remember to keep that up throughout the broadcast. God help me.
I keep forgetting, so like, on to be honest.
Why did we pick this for a 20-second cooldown?
I don't know. I mean, it's Jason, really. Jason's the mastermind.
I always blame Jason. Oh, slowing Hex. Could be a fight to be had. Wait, nice moves from Warden here. Forces that Yamato ulti, plays off to the high ground. Shiv execute on an 18-second cooldown. May not even need it. Yeah, just getting those daggers in. Connection on the cosmetical is good enough for the kill. And Demov just all damage on this Shiv. Sees a couple low targets. Cooldown very much sooner. Dash could be huge. Hits hard on a Holiday. And now one more. Lizzie just trying to escape onto Silver. Tail between her legs. And no chance out of this one. Man, Demov all in with the damage build, and it pays off again. They're just feeding him kills. They're just coming in for more.
Yeah, you don't want to do that exactly. This is not a good look. And that sequence is what tipped this one over the edge towards Abrahams' favor. Now, got that 4K lead, and the bridge buffs are coming up now in a couple seconds. We also got the urn as well. So this is where things can get really interesting. There we go, some positioning on the bridges.
Build from Sonya has an insane farm build. Like, this is a very greedy start build, but it's fully optimized to do the jungle. So I'm expecting the other 5 members of Abrahams to fight aggressively right now and try and make plays, and Sonya to just emerge from the jungle in 10 minutes with like 30k souls and end the game. Blob has a lot of pressure right now to keep up with that pace of farm.
Well, there's a huge fight here from Lowkey W on the left side of the map, and they managed to steal away the urn at the same time. That guy is also really weak on the left, which right now we're seeing instead is the Abrahams like just equalizing the mid Guardian. Page picking up once again for Lowkey W that urn to start ferrying that one across. But big presence from Abrahams. It's not going to be an easy urn turn in. There's a catch as well. This is on for Billy. He's maybe going to take down the Mina, although Demov is here as well.
I mean, the Billy's ult, this chain, locks down some of these mobile heroes so well. It's probably the best counter in the game. Taz, meanwhile, caught in the mid with a lasso, but here comes the counter punch. Big death slam onto a few targets. Lowkey W dropping bodies. Abrahams into this one. Demov, 6 streak for the Shiv. Starting to heat up. Cosmetical in the shadow transformation, but not going to last long. Does get a cheeky parry, though, onto the Shiv. I don't think it's going to be enough as Hoot hunts him down. Continuing to bring the pace and the tempo in this game. I mean, this is classic Abrahams. You can bring the aggro on them in the early game. You can try and up the pace. They will not back down. You better be ready to burger box for 20 minutes because Abrahams will not go back to farming. They will just continue to bring that pace in the fight. Shiv looks into maybe get a cheeky urn drop, but Paige reads it, and now, okay, I was going to say Shiv takes damage. He does not. He just slides away.
Yeah, things starting to get pretty problematic. 10k difference on this one now, so the advantage for Abraham is starting to get locked in. That's a big pick, though, from Sharik there to take down Billy, to start to whittle away that lead that Abrahams have. They start pushing them further back here. They've got to clear that space down towards the urn drop-off point. The urn is gone, though. Lycanform coming on through. You can't really challenge against that, so this does give space for Lowkey W on this right side lane, but they don't have the urn. They're going to pick it up again. They can at least get presence here. Use Lycanform to try to get rid of this Guardian, but it's still pretty healthy, and the Lycanform's gone. Vulnerable now as in comes from the skies.
So already he's play way out of this one, but no chance. D-Mob in with the killing blow and has that ability maxed already. Has gone for the very early killing blow max. He's going to be able to snowball. He's playing actively in this game, and it is paying off now. So many low players, so many targets for D-Mob. Picks up another one, and the urn goes in as well. And this is looking dangerous now for Lowkey W. Abraham's building ahead of steam with an early tempo snowball draft. Sonya out of the jungle already, starting to just push down walkers. Recognizing that the opponents just don't have the resources to defend against this level of pressure across the map. Still with Geist here, dropping that bomb. It's going to be enough to send him back to the jungle, but I mean, not much is lost here for Sonya. He's still very efficient in this game, keeping up in net worth with D-Mob, who's on like, what, a 9 kill streak? I mean, pretty crazy stuff already here for the Warden. No jumps, though. It limits the Paradox a lot. He has to go for a risky swap now onto the Holiday. But he's in a pretty compromised scenario. Just going to go in and dive forward to just do what he can as far as the lane pressure goes.
Okay, and this looks kind of tough right now for Lowkey W. They've got to fall off here. That Guardian is low, but they have to respect that more players have come to this fight. Guinness is here as well. Saint ready to
Curse forced out. I don't think this is value. I mean, Curse is going to be down. You really want to go for this one? Lowkey W are starting to feel the pressure. They're trying to get in. Lycan Curse almost over, though. He's going to find himself very aggressive in human form. Death Slam targets just one, it seems. But oh, Silver transforms back into the human form, getting nuked down, though, in an absolute blender here of Abraham's origin. And D-Mob, he wants more. Okay, he's going to dive this. He's going to die. Okay, he's crazy. He's crazy. He's got to slow down for that one, though.
Okay, Blob's going to get the tower, but I mean, he's going to get cut off here. I don't know if Blob ever survives this.
D-Mob's running the cutoff path. Wait, no.
Can't get there in time.
It's good enough.
Good work.
Yeah, good looks from Blob there, taking a small opportunity and finishing off that mid Guardian finally.
Big dodge to the captivating read there. That would have been certain death for Hoots. And actually, you know, okay, 13k difference. It's somewhat stabilized around this differential, but obviously the problem is Abraham's looking good to grow, and they're going to go for another team fight here into enemy territory.
Silence is good under the lash, though. Prevents him from getting a lot of his damage off, and they're looking to hunt him for more. Drake doesn't have that lasso, though. Trying to just get it for this kill, and Sonya is down, so hold on. Maybe a bit of a window in the mid lane. It's going to be costly in the side lanes, though. It looks like both sidewalkers are under immense pressure. McGinnis getting a lot of damage here and says, hey, you're not backing off yet. You're going to go for this mid. I'm going to finish off this side. So it's going to be likely 2 sidewalkers to be picked up for Abraham's. McGinnis, pretty supportive build, though. Doesn't really have the damage. You get to see some of what's going on here in split screen. The fight into mid. More aggression here onto the lash. They're trying to chase forward onto him. A big power slash needs to connect max power. Not quite enough to take down Hoot, though. So he's going to be able to reset and come back into this one. Midwalker is going to go down, but will he be able to get out? One down already. Tracks just a sliver of HP on that page. And I mean, you just have to run for the hills now. Oh my God. Oh, he's together. Just styling on him a little bit, letting him know, letting him think about what he's done.
Now, the mid-walker as a constellation, losing 2 walkers, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like the mid-walker's the most valuable and the toughest one. So yeah, that's not bad. I mean, in terms of map control, like we'll see if there's anything that's salvageable here. The urn is going to get picked up, but who's on the chase? And who is going to be able to outmaneuver this? Surely he just gets this dropped.
Wait, he didn't drop it? Okay, I think he's out, actually. Maybe?
Amina's there now, so yeah, he's going to chase away.
They're going to do mid-boss. You're carrying the urn away. They know you're not in position for this one. It's an instant take of the mid-boss, and this time, no issue with the gun damage. Triple turret up with the spirit buff from Saint. This is incredibly hard to fight into now, and there's not going to be the contest. They're just too far away. This time, Abraham's with massively more mid damage capitalized and proving they're a much more significant threat in this game when it comes to those objectives. Urn is a consolation prize, but I mean, triple Reju Crystal at this phase of the game, pretty scary. I mean, there's a lot of jungle to take, and I don't know that you can contest it as Lowkey W.
They're just so good. The Abrahams are just so good. So good at this game. Okay, well, it's going to be a defense on that mid walker for Lowkey W. Looking to hold it down at the moment.
Nice parry as well into the Shiv. Slows him down a little bit, makes him take that a little bit more seriously. But no lasso means you're missing one of those key punishment ults when the enemy tries to go for a siege. The question is for Abrahams, do they really want to force anything right now? I mean, you could easily just go clear all the sinners across the map. And I mean, we're talking like 20,000 souls available across the map right now. And if you don't contest that for Lowkey W, it's at your own peril. It's you know, maybe it's not going to be felt now, but it's going to be felt in the next round of buys from Abrahams.
Okay, well, Lowkey W, they've actually closed the gap a bit somehow, Jake. Like,
I mean, hey, getting their own doubles
slightly.
is pretty big, actually. Like, this is one of the, you know, I mean, the double sinner sacrifice, this is probably like the highest concentration of souls on the map. Each team has one pretty safely tucked away in their own jungle. But it's often one thing that you go for when you have a big advantage in Rejuve Crystal. So the fact that Abrahams don't take it is a nice win for Lowkey W. A high key W for them, in fact. Shiv under assault mid lane.
Shiv so low.
This is against Rejuves. Do you really want to take this team fight? You get Shiv down once. Billy pulls more players in. Lash is not even close to this team fight. Neither is Sonya. So it's actually, I think, a good read from Lowkey W, looking to punish some players as they move out on the map. But Billy, he's just not taking damage. He's not going down. Execute. Not enough to get the finish kill. Awoo, indeed, from the Silver. She tries to continue fighting this one. And Billy almost wants to lose this Rejuve, wants to play this one out. Cosmetical is down to D-Mob, who's fearless. He doesn't have another Rejuve Crystal available, by the way. Just full YOLO. But with the help of McGinnis, I don't think you can fight the Shiv with the help of it. Let's see the heal. Let's see the heal in action here from McGinnis. She deploys it on this Walker Siege.
There it is.
Honestly, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. We need to see more. Oh, big wall. Hold on. Still one more crystal. There's so many players down for Lowkey W. They're just throwing bodies at this defense. It's so expensive. Lose Walker. They get a 20k soul deficit, but at least it prevents a major base siege.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Dysons there. Yeah, we don't even have Mystic expansion yet. I mean, I guess you don't really need it necessarily, but yeah. Also, like maybe no level 3 on the healed, so gotta wait for the level 3 heal for the max heals.
I think he...
Okay, Hoot on the catch hit.
Is he gonna go for this death slam? Why not? Oh, he had
whoa!
That one maybe. A little bit of a misplay from Hoot. And they're gonna try to punish this. I mean, remember, there's still a Rejuve available for Abrahams. I think Abrahams would relish this fight. Cosmetico goes down, didn't have the Yamato ulti. Maybe they didn't expect this many Abrahams players to be right behind Hoot, ready to back him up. The wall comes in. Is it going to isolate any players out of the base? Doesn't seem so.
It's the path. And then now they're just like stealing the jungle as well. So really well done here by Abrahams. They offered up a tasty morsel, but there was more. There was more behind that morsel. And
he's going rapid recharge. Oh, man, that's devious. Okay, he's actually not going to commit to that. I think that would be a little bit of a wild and wacky item to build here. But he's just, I mean, this McGinnis has pretty respectable damage too. The Alk Fire, you know, the magazine as well. What is it?
Intensifying magazine.
Intensifying magazine. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting situation right now for Lowkey W. Kind of stuck playing the defense at the moment. No map control. Looking to find a fight here. The Rejuves are gone, so this could be an opportunity, though. It's Abraham's a fight. They're trying to take it. Shiv getting busted down pretty enormously there. Able to escape the immediate damage. Keeps falling back. There we get it. Woo! As we get Lycan form coming on through this. Kidnapping up together. Might be another kill there for Lowkey W. What are these kills? 2 kills back to back. Massive value from them. And this is an opportunity. The Yone is up. They're going to ping it on the map here, Jake. They're looking for more value out of this fight yet.
Taz is trying to pick it up. He would love to pick it up and, you know, bring it under his Walker, where Lowkey W are going to be scared to come try to contest it. It's definitely the thing you want to get when you find a couple of kills in a comeback scenario. One of the things in a recent Deadlock patch is that when you die with a big soul lead, you actually have a much longer respawn time. But I think this position under the Walker, even with the 4v6, is too tenuous with the spawns coming up soon.
Maybe a bit of a lifeline there, chasing down those couple kills. And though from McGinnis for Abrahams, it's a comeback earn. So I don't know. For Abrahams, it's not very easy for them to go challenging this one. But hang on, this is problems for Listic. Dodges that stun just barely.
He's close to that transform though, and he's a little bit more damage. Not gonna find it this time though, and maybe wouldn't really want to commit on a 26k Sonya, who by the way has quietly built up a monster lead of souls here. If he's able to pump damage in this fight, you see the impact of that even on the holiday. Juking away, it's still a glass cannon stack for Sonya. Bangs that one up. Take that one to go. And now he's going to head over right to the urn. I mean, you need to contest this urn right now for Lowkey W, but you're down a player. It would be an expensive fight to lose. And together, looking to catch anyone who dares contest with a Billy, and no chance sticking around for that one.
Okay, 30k difference. That's where we are again. Hey, I mean, it was you know, the Yamato last time on Listic that it was able to turn it around the mid boss, but they also had a pocket too with the afflictions. So that's another big game changer ult. They do not have it now.
And Demon has played his way out of so many of these situations this game. Take a quick base heal. Wants to be fully ready. They want to start fixing the waves now, clearing some side waves. I mean, look at the split on the map. Look at that mini map for Abrahams, right? They're not grouped up at all. They're not looking for a team fight. They're just efficiently splitting and farming the map. Lowkey W have to find kills to punish this kind of a play. If you allow Abrahams to play across the entire map and just everyone solo farming a jungle camp, I mean, the lead is going to balloon out of control. But I don't know, Lowkey W, that's the only way they can fight, is with the kind of player advantage you can engineer with a death ball play. That being said, who loves a death ball more than Lash? Hoot up on that high ground, waiting, watching. Anyone who dares step up could find themselves in a tough spot.
Mid boss up. 25k difference right now, so that mid boss is... You probably want to find a pick first if you are, you know, even if you are ahead like Abrahams are. And okay, there's that catch. They found Billy on the right side lane. This might be the moment here to get a pick. I don't know. Can he escape it?
He's tanky. He's got support coming in. The rest of the team is coming down on this one. Here comes the Awu, Lycan Curse. They're on top of Taz now, trying to get that finishing blow. They do find it, but here comes the big Billy chain together. Has found many, linked them together. They're trying to battle, though, and the Lycan actually is getting big damage. It's a parry onto together, actually secures that kill into him, so 2 down for Abrahams. We need to see how big clutch in this team fight to bring it back. Imov, it's not going to be him. He's trying to run for the hills. He's trying to get out of this one. Hoot has found Sharik in the chaos. Saint looking to pick around the edges. Big lash shot. It could be... No, not quite. They slip right past him, and the Yamato ult denies it. Cosmetical now chasing. Who doesn't have much left to offer into this type. And team diving under the walker is pretty risky. Here comes an unstoppable Warden. Diving in on top of them, ripping the ultimate. Listic not going to get a chance to proc that Lycan form again. And Sonya standing tall. No ultimate on this Yamato, just to deal what damage she can. Oh, picking the max power slash is risky. Sonya, though, plays the corner well and finds that kill.
Wow, what a lasso connection there. That's completely vertical catch. And I mean, it might be an escape, though, so that's pretty ridiculous.
How does he get out of that one? He looks completely
Did he get rescue
dead to
beams?
rights. I mean, Blob was just spamming the hell out of him. But yeah, maybe. I mean, it could have been just that ground slam.
I think so, because McGinnis was there as well. Could be ground
the power
slam
of
too.
Saint. Great looks from Abrahams there to come back in. They lose 2 to open that fight, and yet they're arguably the ones who come out ahead. Good trades. The macro was against Lowkey W because Abrahams is playing that map split as they were.
Mid boss danger.
Right? Yeah, oh, they're just going to send it. I mean, there's 2 players dead. And you have to clear the shrines. I mean, you got creeps on your shrines. You have major macro map problems right now. And the mid boss is being taken. No Page ulti. Page can just do what she can to harass. Does get a 5-man binding read, or captivating read rather, but is it going to be enough? McGinnis walls off the pit, making it very awkward, and there's not even a chance to come in for the contest. Lowkey W just have to run for it now. You do not want to lose players as you kite out of this one, but that's going to yield 2 buffs. It's going to yield map control. It's going to yield urn. And this is just everything you want as an Abrahams fan. Looking to close this one out 2-0, showing a real class differential between these teams at the top of EU.
Oh, such a difficult spot to work against again. And I know that we set it up before this game took place, where like, okay, you know, amazing game we had in the Challenger match. It really was. But like Abrahams, somehow they are better. You know, they somehow they have like levels above everybody else still. And that's kind of what we're seeing in this game here today. Although Lowkey W are doing a great job. Comeback urn here is going to be turned in by Abrahams. There's no real challenge to this. Free one.
Yeah, just looking to deny what souls you can. Here comes Billy, full sending it. The wall has isolated this Yamato out from the rest of her teammates. Cosmetical may need to pop that Shadow Transform just to keep this fight going, but hold on. Chasing through this choke point, you're taking a lot of damage. However, it's maybe just not enough. Shiv is through. Demov looking for more. Warpstone's back for the moment. But even with that Lycan Curse, even with the woo from Listic, it's just not enough. Lash ulti, he just, slams some players away. Listic trying to step back up to clear the wave. At least he can do that. But, I mean, with all 3 waves crashing, with Demov diving into your base, the execute, though, a little bit too early. And this rejuve A little bit tenuous on the low HP for Shiv. Sonya doing God's work, just the honest hustle, clearing the base guardians as the gun carry must do. And they're playing in the heal. Look at the sustain from the McGinnis, man. So much value when it comes to staying alive in these long base sieges. And Listic finally oversteps his mark. They're looking for more. Taz swaps another one in. Can they find that kill on a Shariq? Seems like Shariq getting back to the basement. Maybe Cosmetical is not going to be so lucky. He's down to Hoot. And with 2 players now off the field, Break just off the respawn, 3 rejuve crystals. This could very well be the end of the game. A lot of time left on this rejuve. You've got to be able to grind these resources out. But missing some of your most important players to make that defense happen, this looks very difficult for Lowkey W.
Yeah, there's not too much really to combat this with. The damage output is just too much. First stage is gone. And I mean, they could stay in. They've got 3 rejuves still. I mean, they don't have to go.
Spam ping on Holiday from Hoot. They want to wait out some of these ultis. I mean, I will say Abraham's, none of their ultis are available. There's an argument for them to play it slow for just a second, but at the same time, they could find some of these trademark hero dives around the base. That could all turn around. D-Mob has found Listic. No Werewolf, no more Awus in this game. Will there be a lasso? You can pull Shiv deep into the base. All right, the tower, the base guardians rather going to deal massive damage. But hold on, wait, Shiv is fighting. Shiv is going in deeper. He does get back down. 2 region crystals are off the field now. Abraham's 3-player advantage. Surely this one's going to be enough to close it out. The defenders are in the pit. They're keeping this defense going, but Shariq, he's down. He's not long for this hurl. And Sonya Sniper just grinds down that patron in a matter of moments. Abraham cement themselves best in EU, claiming another victory here in the EU money match. Our EU night shift champions. What does this make? I mean, this got to be like 14, 15 in a row. These guys do not lose.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know, but they are damn good, and it's so evident here. I mean, there are things that they can do in this game that nobody else can do. You know, they pick up McGinnis, for example, in this draft, and like, yeah, McGinnis has utility, but like, I don't think anyone else could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is sort of shades of Saya. I'm thinking of like supports in NA who also bring that incredible hero pool and can really make it work on different characters. I mean, I think this is a relatively quiet McGinnis game, but that's sort of the value of McGinnis. It's not the big flashy moments. It's the sustain is creating an area the enemy doesn't want to enter. It's securing you those mid bosses incredibly quickly off the buffs you get from the heal and the sustain that keeps this team fight going. Hoot, though, insane on the lash. I mean, there's no way you could match the GT game from game 1. I mean, that would have been absurd. But still, a great performance from him, just being absolutely everywhere in the early game, securing a lot of these key late game team fights. They were very aware of his ultis. They made it hard for him to find those big death slams, but he still got it done with sometimes just the flog and the ground slam.
Yeah, that is a great point. It did feel like Hoot could have had more impact. Not that saying that he didn't play well, but just the way that they were able to slip past some of those death slams was pretty crazy, and so it could have been so much worse in that respect. And Lowkey W, they had a lot of skirmishes in the early game, and they did really well. We talked about Trax having like really good plays with the page there, being able to get some really great saves onto Cosmetical, and just in general, I think great use of the silver pick as well to try to like do that early game or have that early game impact when it is harder to have that early game impact. All the while, you had Ward and like Sanya just like chilling, just like going really greedy and farming up, and they managed to keep it competitive. So like, I mean, it's like really rough for them, a game like that. But at the same time, like, these are the games that will make Lowkey W better because the Abrahams are ahead, sure, but they are not so far ahead that this wasn't like very, very helpful, I think, to allow Lowkey W to improve by watching the demos.
Yeah, and I feel like on an individual basis, I really do respect the performance from the Lowkey W players. Like, they're individually piloting their heroes incredibly well, but this is what happens when you go up against a team that's as experienced as a unit. It's like the way they team fight, the way they approach the objective side of the game, the macro side of the game is incredibly good, and yet their individual play also leaves, almost nothing to be desired. So for Abrahams, so far, no one's been able to touch them in EU. They've been very solidly on top here. We just demob 13-0 and 14. That's normal. That's a normal stat line there for the Shiv. So, without the pocket, just nothing to hold him back. But across the board, Blob's still top player damage in the lobby, had a pretty solid carry performance, I'd say, in this game. Vrake finding a lot of good opportunities on the holiday. Just too difficult. Even Listic, look, getting active, getting into a ton of these kills, Cosmetical as well. Like, these are players who, on an individual basis, can go blow for blow. And I want to see more of this team as they get more chance to practice, more chance to workshop with this roster. I think there's a world where they can grow into that competition with Abrahams.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I got to say, I'm actually kind of shocked that Demov had no deaths, because I felt like there was so many moments when I saw him.
Yeah, he looks
like
completely dead, right? He's like
Yeah.
inside the entire enemy death ball, and he just does. I mean, he's insane with the movement on Shiv. I think that's
true. That's
kind of
true.
what makes the difference on a top Shiv player is just how good they are at utilizing the movement tech. I mean, some of those like the right click into wall bounce movement tech is pretty insane, and Demob just hits that every single time. He makes it look like it's a basic skill. I assure you, it is not that simple to be as consistent as he is. So that's what leads to the performances like this, just the individual level across the board on all these teams.
And one last thing as well is that Hood has actually had incredible damage output, despite not seeing some of those death slams connect. He still was head and shoulders above everybody else on the team, which is kind of wild to think.
Yeah, it's like what could have happened if he does get those massive death slams, right? Like, even though you're dodging these big team battles, you're not dodging the flog. He's still staying alive deep into the fights. I like that he goes for the spirit burn early. That the level of anti-heal that provides is massive. So it's great against somebody like a Silver or a Yamato that really wants to leverage the healing throughout the fight and live deep into that engagement. And of course, he had to be our MVP. The Lash game, phenomenal to still be top damage, despite the enemy team really being aware of the threat that he brought in that last match. But of course, I mean, it was game one that sealed the deal, man. What in the hell was that great talent? That was an absolutely disgusting career-defining performance for Hoot.
Yeah, this GT performance was ridiculous. He had 80k damage in this game. If for those of you that missed it, it was 80,000 damage in 30 minutes. So he was hitting pretty hard, and obviously great talent can do that. But he got pretty quickly up to like plus 50 spirit on his guided owl. So yeah, he was throwing those things out, and they were connecting every time.
Intercontinental ballistic missile. Quite a few moments in that last match. Also on the Lash, not only dominating the lane, but then roaming around in the early game and allowing. I mean, there was a moment where it looked like Lowkey W was kind of come out ahead of that laning phase and just out burger box it. But in the end, Abraham's they don't back down. They keep showing up, and the mechanics, they have full confidence in them. They trust each other to be able to win those brawls, going all in. Even if you lose some players, sure, it's not going to be clean, but you're going to get the job done.
Yeah, gorgeous stuff from Hoot. I'm gonna have to check out some Hoot demos on Lash, because it's kind of profound just how effective he is on this hero. And even with the gun as well, like he's really really good with that. So yeah, very scary moments here and there, I think, for Abrahams in this game. We just, like you said, Lowkey W are players to be respected, but when it came down to the overall team effort and the overall, again, like a best in class factor that Abrahams have, it's just
hard to see how they lose. It's hard to see how they lose. It feels like they're the best in the team coordination department. They're probably pretty much all best in class on an individual level. Although, I mean, we saw a few bright spots there for sure for Lowkey W, players that are contending at that spot. But until you get those reps in as a team, until you grow and you're able to contest them in the team department, feels like a bridge too far. It takes them kind of getting a little bit sloppy, taking some gambling mid bosses to get the enemy team back in the game. And it's pretty impressive they've been able to hold on to that crown for quite so long. However, this hasn't always been the case. There was a time that Abrahams was really that second team, right? Was trying to unseat what was the Buffingers who ran the table for quite some time. So you never want to get too comfortable as an Abrahams player or a fan, because there's always going to be that team grinding in the back line and just working their way up, and eventually they could come supplant you. This spot is not given for free. It has to be earned. We're gonna see if we can get a potential player interview, a post-game interview with one of our victors. TBD on that one. I'm curious though, Dan. No Graves yet so far. EU is wrapping up. We didn't see a single Graves. Will NA show us any of our favorite new Necromancer? I
feel like NA is usually a region that is happy to experiment, and is also like sometimes quicker, I think, to try newer things maybe than EU. I mean, they just have different perspectives on the game, so maybe that's the wrong way to talk about it. But I feel like we could see it for sure. Graves is considered to be quite strong, and she does provide a different mechanic in the game, which is interesting to play against. She has a lot of limitations with movement. That's really kind of her greatest weakness. But I think we could certainly see it. And for those of you following Jake's Abrahams narrative, basically the Abrahams of NA is melee creeps. It's a similar kind of situation where they were the number 2 for quite some time, and then they became the indomitable top dogs, which is where we sit today.
It's always easy to say. It's easy to type in the Twitch chat team diff and think that you're always going to be on top, but it's just not the case. You got to earn it. You got to stay there. You got to work every single week. Rather, we are here on the night shift trying to determine who is the best in the world. And in each region right now, for now, it's clear. Abrahams, they retain that championship. They retain that crown. I wonder if we have Hoot ready in the interview. I see him in the green room. I see him getting ready. Be able to chat to him in a moment about that absolutely massive performance. And here he is, the man of the hour, Hoot, our MVP from our championship match. Another win for Abrahams. Just another day at the office for you, or how did that one feel playing against some old foes in Listic and Cosmetical?
It felt good. The entire team is filled with my friends, so it was fun to beat up my friends with the Talon. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the Talon looks really, really good. Do you think in the current meta we're going to see a lot more Talon? Is Talon super, super strong, or just you found the right game for him?
I think it was kind of an okay game. I just got a really, really good start. I think I got plus 50 spirit from my ult at 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So I did end up with 200 spirit at 12 minutes. So that I think that's the reason the game ended up like it did.
Yeah, those charge shots were hidden like a freight train, man. Like at some point in the game, people were just dying in the fountain to the charge shots. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. I gotta ask about the new heroes, right? This is a big moment in Deadlock after 3 new heroes just dropped, big new update with the new patrons. I'm just curious, like, well, number one, I guess, for you personally, what's your favorite of the first 3 heroes that have dropped so far? Like, what have you been enjoying the most to play, if you can say so?
It's gotta be Silver. I've been waiting for Silver since the patch released. She's just looked the coolest out of all of them, and she's by far, I think, by the other 2 heroes that's been released, the most fun player or fun hero to play.
Is it the movements and the combos and stuff with Silver? Because it seems like she has a very high skill ceiling, like high damage, but you have to have good mechanics because there's so much mobility too. Is that part of it? Because she seems like she has some weaknesses. Obviously, the Lycan form's a strength, but like farming and stuff and laning seems a little like there might be some weaknesses there.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of different heroes, right? And I like a lot of different play styles. So I like having kind of the option to play between 2 play styles of it's swapping between playstyles of playing like an assassin with her human form and then going just full on tank in wolf form.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to see as players, get some more experience on Silver, what they're able to do. It feels like she has so much combo, so much potential. And we were talking about this before we had you on here for the interview, but we didn't see any Graves at all in EU. She did take some pretty big nerfs in that Silver patch. Do you think that's why she isn't being played right now, or do you think it's more about the way the hero fits into the meta for competitive play?
I think she just needs more time played. I don't think she really fits anywhere right now. Like she's supposed to be kind of a split pusher-ish, like solo laner, but you can't just have a hero that solo lanes. And I think people just need more time to like actually figure out what she's supposed to do in the game.
Oh, that makes total sense. I'm curious, do you think any of the new heroes coming out, is there any one that you're voting for? Like, it'll give you your chance to promo. Who should the fans vote for if they're a fan of you? What do you want to see the next hero dropping in Deadlock?
We gotta vote for Apollo. We gotta get the high movement skill hero in the game.
And Apollo needs your help. I'm pretty sure Apollo is going last, brother. Like, without your support, I'm pretty sure Apollo's going last.
Probably, unfortunately.
So, before I let you go, I'm going to give you the chance. Are you stream on Twitch? Are you on YouTube? Where can people go to find your gameplay to learn how to play Deadlock at the highest level?
Yeah, I just stream on Twitch at HootDL. That's where I live.
All right.
Wow. You got the man.
Go check him out. Check out some of the streams. See what he's got cooking over there on Twitch. Hoot, thank you so much, man. Congrats again. Another victory for Abraham's. A well-deserved one. A dominant win. Great to have you on, and thanks for coming for the interview.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
All right, Dan, I believe that brings us to the end here in EU. I don't want to keep the audience in suspense. After this, guys, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back. It's going to be NA to close out the night. We still have the Floormen taking on Bunny with Clock in the Challenger match. The Floormen, bit of a roster shakeup with them. We've got Hydra Nation brewing a new roster coming TBD soon. Maybe after a couple more weeks, they'll be ready to show their stuff in the night shift. But of course, in the NA finals, our champions Melee Creeps also on a huge streak of dominance. No one has been able to take it to them in quite a few months now in Night Shift. We'll have to see if Silver and Graves are enough to change that level of dominance. Honestly, it feels unlikely. They have been untouchable almost in the same way Abrahams have. So we'll have to see. You got to stick around after the break for our NA side. That's going to be it for Dan and I on the night. And just had a blast today, Dan. Great games. Anything you want to say before we send it off?
No, it's going to be epic. If you guys tune in for the first time, you're like, I want to see more Deadlock. We're going to do the whole thing over again. So you're going to have a lot of fun. Make sure to check out our Patreon and everything else. And we're live every Wednesday. So watch more Deadlock, play more Deadlock, invite all your friends. And that's all I have to say.
Couldn't have said it better myself. See you after this one, guys.